Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris the Candyman, and you already know what time it is. Tonight, we're talking the NFL schedule release and maybe drafting some best ball teams. And I've actually got a bunch of guys here. Let's bring them on. We've got bunch of the boys here tonight to talk some ball. What's up, fellas?
What's going on? Thanks for having us.
How's it going, man?
Hey, thanks for being here. How are we feeling about the schedule release? Anyone pulling for either their home team or get some bad matchups? Like right off the bat, I wasn't really excited about Houston's matchups, for their own sake, going towards the end of the year. They're playing the Jags, the Eagles, and the Packers. In the last two games at Philadelphia and at Green Bay. Pretty tough to play when it's cold outside. I will say that. So let's start with Goofy. We'll go around the horn.
It's exciting when you get to see those week 15, week 17 games. But I'm an advanced guy. I care about weeks 1 through 14. I'm trying to get my advance rate as high as possible. I'm swinging for singles and doubles. I know there's some home run guys probably in the room, but I'm more concerned about what's going on 1 through 14.
That's right. Blizzy, how you feeling?
I feel good. I would say that, I've already kind of gone against the grain with some of my pre-scheduled takes. Like I was going to be really light, really underweight on Jeremiah Love, but he's got those 3 dome games. He's home against the Jets. He's at the Saints. He's home against the Raiders. So it might be wheels up for Jeremiah Love down the stretch.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah, we could have some good matchups there. That'd be an interesting one to watch. Jim, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, man? Yeah, I like to zag a little bit on the week 17 matchups. I think sometimes maybe the correlation gets a little overpopulated, and I guess we become a victim of the moment with what we've had success with. But the year that I did win something, it was with Devontae and CeeDee Lamb stack and not the CeeDee Lamb Amon-Ra that everybody else had. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of things like Zay T. Higgins that are going to be super popular, and maybe, I've drafted a ton of that so far anyway, but maybe easing off that and doing some other combos.
Yeah, I like that. That year is one of my better finishes too. I had like a CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra stack that was like the popular, combo at the 1-2 turn that year. It's always fun to think through, what those are going to be. Like you said, T and Zay playing each other in week 17. There'll be a lot of nice combos, and I bet we see Lamar get pulled up too, to like the Jamar Chase teams, right? Brian, what's up, man? How we doing?
What's good, man? Thanks for bringing your sweetness in here, Candyman. I'm pissed. Absolutely pissed. The closest NFL stadium to me, it's the Commanders. My boys, my Colts are playing at the Commanders this year. Oh, but hold up. No. It's across the pond over there in London this year. I'm screwed. Absolutely pissed. I'm going to have to travel a little bit farther to go see my boys play, but it's all right. We got best ball.
Are you more pissed they're playing the fucking Browns in week 17?
Brutal. Luckily, I kind of fade the Colts just to kind of help save my fantasy teams a little bit, so I'm cool with it. Josh Downs going to get locked up, I'm sure, and JT, he's going to give us a whole whopping, 12 attempts for 42 yards.
Yeah, that's tough, man. They get your team is playing across the pond, and the week 17, not the best, the Cleveland Browns, and actually a pretty stingy defense too, right? Especially with Myles Garrett healthy. Trev, what's up, brother? How you doing?
What up? Good, man. I didn't realize Brian had like the announcer voice, dude. Like I got lost in the sauce for a second. I thought I was like at a game, dude. That was incredible.
That's what we're working on.
That's pretty good, man. But as far as the schedule goes, dude, I am all in on the Saints playoff schedule. They're like Dallas Light from last year. They have no defense. The offense is going to be fine with Shuck, Olave, Tyson. Dude, they get the Cardinals, the Falcons, and the Bucks for their playoff weeks. Dude, yeah. Shuck to the moon. Just I'll take them all. I'll take ETN. I'll take Kamara. I don't even care. Just give me all the Saints.
They have one of the best playoff stretches. I will say that, and definitely we're about to get into it because the agenda for tonight, we're gonna go team by team, and we're gonna spin a wheel of names and let each of us give our take on the offenses fantasy playoff matchups against all these defenses, the away games, if they're in a dome or they're playing in the snow, and
Are
how
you
tough
saying I
these
blew my
defenses
load
could
too
be.
quick on the Saints, and I should slow my roll a little bit? Is that what that was?
No, I think it's perfect. You led right into it. And I just want to let everyone know out there that if you're watching this live or in the future, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subbed to the channel and check out the socials in the description for all of these fine gentlemen here. Make sure you follow them as well. Get involved and let's get back to it. Okay, Michael, what's up, brother? How you feeling?
Good. I'll save the fantasy stuff for once we get rolling on the wheel, but my Bengals are, after 4 straight years of playing the Ravens on the road in prime time, we get them in week 17 at home in prime time. So that'll be a nice one for fantasy purposes as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure the 3 of their last 4 matchups have gone to at least 50 points. So it's going to get juicy there.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun matchup for sure. I think that's one of the ones that people are highlighting. Just could be a fantasy shootout and be a great one to go see in person too, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Last but not least, PPR. Thanks for being here, brother. How we doing?
Only last because you put me down here, you fucker.
Whoa.
I'm doing fantastic. I'm finally happy to be on a panel. There'll probably be less. There's 8 of us on here, but there'll probably be less shouting than what I have to constantly deal with that dumbass BBG and that hypocrite emo cowboy. So I'm really excited to. This feels more like a band of brothers. The other one doesn't feel like that. So I'm happy to that I'm actually here with my real family, my brothers. So I'm pumped.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Thanks to everyone on the panel tonight, all of the guests for being here on the channel. Let's get right into it. I'm going to see if we can get this to I think this will work, this kind of format. And we're going to jump right into the first team. So the Arizona Cardinals, we're going to spin the wheel of names. Hope this works. Let me know if the mic gets weird. No, I think we're good. First up is Michael.
Yeah, so rolling with the Cardinals, I did kind of have that Week 17 games circled for the battle of the tight end one between McBride and Bowers. So that's going to be really, really exciting. But generally speaking, I'm honestly pretty nervous about the Cardinals. I do think that we're going to see Love kind of come up throughout the summer. I'm not sure that we're going to get the garbage time game scripts that we've been seeing. I do expect the defense to be pretty bad still, but it's a very, very concerning offense. A lot of people have been talking about it when we think that Carson Beck is going to be starting these playoff weeks. So I'm pretty hesitant on everyone's prices except for Jeremiah Love, but I do think it'll be tougher click once he starts to rise throughout the summer. So we'll just have to wait and see what that is. But for now, I'm pretty hesitant.
So it sounds like you're more of a slight fade on the Cardinals. Even with some of these cake matchups, you're just not very confident in the offense.
I am scared shitless of what Carson Beck is going to do on the football field when he does get there. I don't. If you find someone who is confident, I mean, they must be from Miami or Georgia or something. Maybe Goofy has some takes on Carson Beck's talent, but I am scared shitless for what he's going to do when he gets on the football field.
Nice. Yeah. Anyone else have any strong takes about Arizona or kind of Michael's point there before we move on to Atlanta? I think feel good. That was a good take. All right, let's spin the wheel again and we'll keep this thing going. How was the audio quality? Sometimes StreamYard gets weird when a website has sound. Was it good the whole time?
It was great.
It was good.
I didn't hear any sound, which is good.
Perfect. We're building the plane as we're flying it, and we're spinning the wheel. Looks like Jim's up next. All right, Jim, you get the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not stacking Atlanta because we don't know who plays quarterback there. But there are a few players more terrifying to be fading on week 17 than Bijan. So that New Orleans matchup looks pretty juicy. So, for whatever 6 to 8% of Bijan we end up with, unless you're taking him at 1 and 2, I think anybody's going to be terrified to see him coming down the lane. But as I said, not really stacking Atlanta. Maybe if we get more knowledge on if it's going to be Penix or Tua, I'll mix in some more true stacks. But for now, they're one-offs across the board. Yeah.
So I get the sense, like, kind of generally, you're just thinking that's a target.
I like the matchups, so I'm happy to take Arizona players with those week 15 through 17 matchups, but it's gonna be one-offs for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. To that point, I want to do a quick vote, and I want everyone to give who they think the QB is for the Atlanta Falcons during this stretch, weeks 15 to 17, starting with Goofy. Who do you think the quarterback's going to be?
I think Tua is going to start week 1. He's going to finish week 17.
Blizzy.
I think Tua starts the season. I think he's out of there by Halloween, and it'll be Penix down the stretch.
All right. Next up, Trev.
I'm with Lizzie, man. I think Tua is going to start, and then it'll be Penix for the playoff weeks.
Okay. Brian, how you feeling?
Same. Give me 2 in the beginning and Penix finishing hard.
Ooh, we're getting some consensus. Jim?
Yeah, I don't want to be a broken record here, but they're going to need to know what they have with Penix before the year lets out, so they got to let him finish strong or flounder and move on.
How about Michael?
I don't know if you guys saw the 6-second clip of Penix hucking the rock earlier today, but he looks good, and he's going to be rolling as soon as he's
It was a good huck.
Yeah, pretty spiral.
We might have to throw that on the stream later and check it out. Anytime we get a good hype video, we love to pull it up. PPR, what do you think about your Falcons?
Goofy, these guys got no idea what they're fucking talking about. We're gonna make so much fucking money this year. We're gonna make so much. If this is what the public thinks about the Falcons QB room, I mean, just draft Tua and don't even think about it. Because
I mean, I don't think Matt Ryan cares if Michael Penix plays or not.
Because here's the thing. I have a full Tua rant. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Right.
Like, so I'll say it's Tua. It's the scheme fit. It's the quick hitting. It's the way Stefanski runs his offense. He's gonna get the first nod, and that team is good. The defense is good. O-line's good. Weapons are good. They'd have to be losing a shit ton of games for them to pull him, and I just don't know if he's A, gonna play bad around that supporting cast, and B, are they gonna be like 2-5, which they could. But I think it's
certainly be bad around a good supporting cast. Trust me, from a Dolphin fan, he'll find a way, man. He will find a way to play bad.
It's a short leash for sure.
Yeah, I like it. We got guys on both sides of it. It's exactly what we want, that kind of debate. It's something to figure out. There's a lot of value there to figuring that out. We're going to jump to the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be a fun one. Whoever gets the Ravens here, open it to me because I feel like that's an easy one to figure out. Goofy, take it away, brother.
Hey, for me, you're looking at Pittsburgh, you're looking at Cleveland, you're looking at Cincinnati. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. And guess what? Don't nobody want to tackle Derrick Henry in the cold. All right. We saw what he did last year when they went up against the Green Bay Packers. He was running through them in the cold weather, like Saban likes to say, through a tin horn. So definitely, if I could get me some Derrick Henry, I'm always a running back guy. If I could grab some D. Henry and I could get him out there in sub 30-degree temperatures, I'm taking him. All right. Everybody else on that Ravens offense, I'm not sure about, but I'm sure that nobody wants to tackle King Henry in sub below temperatures.
Dude, Derrick Henry cannot keep getting away with this, man. He just can't. How old? He's 35. What are we doing?
I agree.
He just added like 5 years.
I don't think he's 35. That is not right.
That sounded a little bit high, but
Yeah,
I will say I tend to make exceptions for like Hall of Famers and outliers. I kind of put Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams in that category where it's like I'd rather just keep believing and then get burned the year they fall off the cliff than assume they can't keep going on because these guys are just different.
And don't get me wrong. I'm at 8% exposure because Father Time is going to hit eventually. Yeah. And I'm not all in. But I do know that when that train starts going downhill in the cold weather, some guys are going to make business decisions. They don't want to step in there and tackle them.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like you said, time can catch up. But I think overall, you're targeting Derrick Henry. These defenses are pretty tough matchup, especially I guess they get Pittsburgh and Cleveland, but Cincinnati in week 17 is kind of nice. Yeah. Pittsburgh
wasn't great. Rush defense wasn't great last year, so
it's terrible.
James Cook made him look like didn't he drop 200 on their ass?
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was terrible.
Yeah. So I'll let the chat know, let you guys know. We pulled over the schedule, and then these are Mike Clay's defensive rankings that I pulled. So if maybe you don't think Pittsburgh's the number 2 overall defense, but just give us a point of reference directionally to talk about. And if you have better defensive projections, then let me know. But this is what we're using for today. All right, we're going to look at the Buffalo Bills and hit the wheel again. Let's see what we get into. Jim again. Here we go. Back to
So Buffalo, I mean, the matchups are great unless Miami is such a blowout that Josh Allen is resting at halftime. But I'm also not targeting Buffalo because I think Josh Allen is super overpriced right now compared to the rest of the quarterback market. So with all that being said, it's probably a smash for James Cook down the stretch. I past game against Denver, a little weaker, but Cook will probably have 2 good games out of the 3 there at least. So it's definitely making me more inclined to click him at the back end of round 1.
One thing I've been thinking about, and if anyone has a strong opinion, some people are out on James Cook. He led the league in rushing last season. I feel like it doesn't get talked about. And we've seen other players in that range who are more of a projection, whether it's Hampton, who we'd like to see it from, but he hasn't been healthy yet, or it's guys like Genty who are on a bad team that's getting better, or Achan on an okay team that's getting worse and maybe has the worst projections for 2026 of any team. Like, I think Cook is a really safe pick in the end of the first round. I don't know if you guys are out on him, but I think it's kind of strange that no one's excited about James Cook.
Let me just jump in and say one other thing about how that playoff schedule sets up for best ball. We know it's been talked about a million times, but this is a really specific example where you may get James Cook at Denver week 16 and he gets blanked. But if you're one of those teams that's strong around him, you have a guy that goes in week 14 or round 14, 15, 16 that pops off, and then you hit him with the week 17 banger, James Cook back home in Miami in a nice weather environment where they're going to be projected to win by 14, 15 points. That might be the skeleton key.
Yeah, no, that's a great take. And like you said, in Miami, one last thing I'll mention for everyone in the chat too. I took off the at home and away kind of like symbols on this, but if they're grayed out, it's a slight difference between the white fill and the gray fill. The gray fill signals on the road. So like Blizzy was saying there, James Cook going to Miami in the good weather and could be a smash spot. Just got to get him there. The next matchup we're going to be looking at is the Carolina Panthers. They're actually playing at home against the Seahawks. Could be another tough matchup if the Seahawks don't have so much of a Super Bowl hangover. And it looks like we got Trev. Take it away.
Yeah, man. Kind of a tough draw for Carolina. I kind of like what they're doing on offense and defense, but this is just such a brutal draw because they're going to be trying to make the playoffs too, not just winning our best ball leagues. I just think that's so tough, man. Like, I think it's Tet, and then everyone else is kind of an afterthought for me. I don't think Bryce is all that good. I think they're trying to hide him a little bit in that offense. So I think it's pretty much just Tet and everyone else for me. I don't know what y'all think.
No, I agree.
I think it's pretty hilarious that last year's week 17 was literally Seattle at Carolina, and it's the same exact thing this year in the same spot. Again, I think that's funny. I can't wait for everyone to be like, oh, well, last year, actually, this is what happened. So it's going to be the exact same thing again. Like, I'm really excited for that analysis. Like, Ted Arroyo had 1 catch for 5 yards. If the first person I hear say, well, Ted Arroyo had 1 catch for 5 yards last year, that's going to get a retweet from me, a quote tweet from me on Twitter, actually.
Got a sample size of 1, man. You gotta let that ride.
Exactly.
That could be tough. I just think back to the Super Bowl and the pass rush that Seattle had against Drake May, and man, the overs on the sacks hit. And I know Carolina has a decent O-line, but if they can't protect, that could just be a terrible fantasy matchup, right? So that does kind of scare me a little bit for the Carolina pieces.
I'll just say Chuba was already one of the worst clicks on the board, and it got a lot worse tonight with this news.
Yeah, I'm tending to agree with that take. Next up, we have Chicago. Fun matchup. It's at home. Sadly, it's not going to be in Detroit, but at home against Detroit in Week 17. That could be a nice matchup. But there's going to be so many good fantasy pieces in that Week 17 game, like just an unbelievable amount.
Oh, I thought we were staying hot. That's what the.
And we got Brian on this one.
Yeah, let's dabble with some Chicago here. You know, you got the at Buffalo, Green Bay, Detroit. That obviously gets harder as you're going through the playoffs. Each and every game is going to be a little bit more. You know, the butthole's going to tighten up as you get into Week 17 there against Detroit. But hey, I'm pounding some Odunze. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than Burden right now, so I'm hitting that all day long. Love the running back situation as far as if you are going heavy in the wide receiver early and trying to clean up there in these best ball drafts. But no fear here, man. I mean, Ben Johnson's talked about it. Caleb Williams, the interceptions are going to happen. The turnovers are going to happen. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for the plays. They're looking for the big stuff. And, man, Caleb had one of the greatest throws I've ever seen last year. And I'm here for the chaos, here for the madness.
I'm so with you on Odunze, man. Odunze over Burden for me all day.
Give me those cheap prices, man.
And I think in like the Bears versus Detroit, it's a divisional matchup, so you know they're you kind of think they can figure each other out. They might be gunning for first in the division. Who knows? And there's just so many like good fantasy pieces to both of those offenses. It's going to be hard to like straight out fade them. I think this is going to be one of the matchups we see like the most stacked up in a lot of these best ball tournaments as well. And one people will think about, you know, for kind of across all kind of formats.
The only problem is there could legitimately be like a blizzard in Chicago in Week 17. Like that would be so tough. You claw your way to the finals just to get like a 3-0 game in the worst weather you've ever seen. Like,
that would be unfortunate, kind of. And that's kind of one I wish it was in the Dome in Detroit, but
for sure
can't get them all. All right, next matchup, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're going to be hosting the Baltimore Ravens. So it's the flip side.
So are we
doing
are we doing the flip side stuff? Are we just gonna go over
for sure
anyway? Okay.
Because you get the same Week 17, but it's, you know, now it's the focus on the Bengals offense and some of the other matchups.
Dude, this wheel is ageist, bro. I swear.
Here we go for Michael.
Yeah, you got to be buying all these pieces. It's pretty straightforward. The first four guys off the board: Brown, Chase, Higgins, Burrow. Perhaps I'm letting my fandom bias be come into play here, but I think that they're all easy buys. I think the defense will be okay, a little better, but definitely going to be prone to shootouts, and the talent is spoken for. I don't think Chase Brown is that good of a running back, but we all know what he can do with all those goal line opportunities and just the volume that's coming his way. The running back depth chart is just barren behind him, so it's volume for Brown and just talent elsewhere across the board.
Do we worry that Ravens game's a Thursday night game?
And we do not.
If the Bengals are just limping into that game and everyone just like beat up and it's just like a gross AFC North battle on prime time,
you got to go watch the highlights from the last handful of Ravens Bengals games.
Yeah,
Trev. You got it.
The Thursday night games scare me, man. I'm terrified, mortified, petrified. I can't do it.
Just go watch the Thanksgiving game last year.
I don't have to deal with Zach Orr anymore. I think that's getting overlooked a little bit. People keep citing the Ravens situation from the past couple of years when they had a bottom 5 defensive coordinator. Jesse Minter is elite.
That's true.
I mean, not that I'm not fading Jamar Chase. I'm drafting him at 3 every time. But yeah. I think the odds of him dropping 30-plus points are slightly diminished from previous Ravens bouts.
Shout out new Cincinnati Bengal too, Boye Mafe, former Gopher, pissed next to him at a bar one time. So shout out him.
What'd it look like?
Didn't look.
Come on, you didn't look. Don't give me that.
What are you talking about, dude? I'm a man of class. I'm a man. This is after he was in the NFL too. I was like, fuck, I was kind of scared of this guy.
Next matchup, the Cleveland Browns and Indy. So we're talking the Cleveland side of it. Let's see who's going to be lucky enough to get the very exciting Cleveland Browns.
Fuck it.
Goofy.
Good. Nobody likes the Cleveland Browns. Everybody's been shitting on the Cleveland Browns. I completely understand. I'm a believer in Todd Monken. Remember, Todd Monken went to Baltimore. Nobody thought that Lamar Jackson was a pocket passer before Todd Monken got there. Todd Monken absolutely unleashed Lamar Jackson's passing game. And he could do the same thing in Cleveland, whether it be with Shador or whether it be with Deshaun. All right. So I'm a believer in what Todd Monken does. I believe he has a good play calling acumen. I'm big on play callers. Now, if we look at the schedule 15, 16, 17, yep, New York Giants, they got some pass rushers. Baltimore, they bought some pass rushers. Indy, they're trying to get better on defense. But I believe that the Cleveland Browns offensive weapons are a little bit underrated, and I believe that people aren't giving Todd Monken enough credit as being one of those top-tier offensive play callers in the NFL because he showed it, and the stats showed it too. You know, when Greg Roman was in Baltimore, everybody thought that Lamar Jackson was just a zone read quarterback, hit some RPOs. Todd Monken gets there, and he looks like a pro quarterback.
Sounds like we got a target there. I want to ask
I'm a target for the guys at ADP. If you know who's going to be Cleveland Browns quarterback and you could get him in the 20th round and you have some you feel strongly about Shador's going to play or you feel strongly about Deshaun's going to play, one of those guys is value in the 18th round. Which one it may be, I don't know. And I'm not playing the guessing game anymore. I played the guessing game last year with Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. So y'all can play the guessing game with Shador and Deshaun and Tua and Michael. I'm out.
There we go. Follow-up question, Goofy. I know you're not drafting ahead of ADP for Cleveland. For Quinshawn Judkins, he's injured. I know he's not. You're not drafting injured guys.
No, I'm not drafting him or Cam Scatterboo. I don't care. I need to see him on grass before I draft him.
So then, how are you playing Cleveland though? I mean, is it just the later guys? Is it the rookie?
I'm talking about the later guys. I'm talking about if you know who the quarterback's going to be, fine. If you believe in Jerry Jeudy still like I do, fine. If you want to take KC and you want to take some Denzel, Harold Fanning, fine. But I'm not touching. I even take Dylan Sampson every now and then, but I just can't take guys that were on the surgery table a couple months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. That's just me. I'm too conservative to do that.
It's a tough one to figure out because I feel like people are hesitant on the Browns. Every year we do this in fantasy. We just we blackball some teams. Maybe it was the Colts last year, although they still had Jonathan Taylor. But we get really behind on certain teams we assume are going to be bad again, and then they surprise to the upside. So maybe it is the Browns' time.
I mean, the people in the front offices are working. They get paid a lot of money. They're trying to get better too. They're looking at the same analytics that you guys are looking at, and they're putting moves in to be better. You know, it doesn't stay the same.
Mm-hmm. Next matchup, we got Dallas Cowboys, and they're getting the New York Giants at home in Week 17. So let's spin the wheel here. Let's see what we're going to get.
Unbelievable.
Goofy.
My show. This is my show. Dallas.
There's another cup chair over there.
I'm going to go to the corner. Give me a sec.
Another great offense. I'm not touching guys like George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb because I just think they're too expensive. If you ever see my stream, it's all running back, get your money back for me, you know. So with that said, if I'm not taking CeeDee Lamb and I'm not taking George Pickens, then I'm not taking Dak Prescott, and I don't like Javonte Williams. So for me, even with the schedule, I know Jacksonville could possibly be a shootout, but for me, those wide receivers are too expensive, which makes the quarterback too expensive. I'm not targeting anybody in the Dallas offense. It might bite me in the butt, but, you know, conservative drafter, running back, get your money back. I'm worried about my advance rate after week 14. That's just not my style.
Do we have any big Dallas fans out of you guys? Anyone want to cape up and be more of a bull on the Dallas matchup?
Not a fan, man, but like we've just seen the Cowboys offense have multiple fantasy relevant players for way too long. Like CeeDee is going to be awesome here. Pickens, I mean, yeah, the contract situation is a little murky. He's probably going to play. Like this offense is just going to be good. And I think fading them is probably just a big mistake.
Was CeeDee good enough for you last year in the first round?
Not last year, but the year before he was.
Okay.
I'll just say that schedule is nice. I mean, they're gonna have some offenses that push them obviously all 3 dome games in SoFi Stadium, and then both 16 and 17 inside Jerry's World. the Giants, I don't know if they're going to push them, but certainly the Rams and the Jaguars offenses with competent play callers like McVay and Liam Cohen clearly can push the Cowboys to have to score a lot. I don't know. I'm kind of with Goofy on Pickens. I don't know what we're going to expect from CD. He was kind of getting his target share eaten into from Pickens. And if I don't like Pickens, I mean, I don't really like either of them necessarily at price. I like Javonte this year.
They're good players. Sorry,
no,
go
ahead.
They're good players. Just it's at price. I'm talking about. I'm not drafting first round wide receivers there. I'm not drafting George Pickens in the early second round either. So it's just playing style. If you want to be a wide receiver, bro, and draft these guys and stack them with Dak, who is expensive as well, then I have no problem with that. But you're trying to hit home runs, and all I'm trying to do is hit doubles.
Yeah, and I'll just say one of the things that I've kind of thought in the pre-schedule drafts, and I even think it still today, is, I mean, you guys are going to have to tell me what the hell's the difference between Javonte going like 38 to 42 and Chase Brown going like 19 to 22. Aren't they both just backs that are going to stay on the field on really competent, good offenses that we expect to score a lot? I mean, I don't understand why Chase Brown's going 20 picks ahead of Javonte Williams.
I think it's probably like the 20 more catches that he'll have.
I mean, maybe.
That's the only explanation I have.
Maybe they were playing fucking Samaje Perine last year.
Yeah, I think, just kind of put it quickly on that one, because that's something I've thought a lot about too. I'm definitely more bullish on Chase Brown. I get what you're saying about both being high-powered offenses and good passing attacks. Michael has a good point there. I think Chase Brown does, kind of catch more passes. And that was really funny. It's almost like if you drafted teams last year that had both Javonte and Chase Brown, you would have smashed. Like in your home league, it would have been great, especially because Javonte was so strong in the first half of the season and then completely trailed off the second half. And it was the opposite for Chase Brown. He was terrible for the first half of the season, and then he was an absolute smash at the second half of the season. So, I guess it's you can make an argument. I can see a good argument kind of going both ways, but definitely something we got to tease apart as we start to get deeper into this draft season. The next matchup we're going to talk about, we got Denver, and they're playing the Patriots. I've heard a lot of people bad talking, both of these teams with their Week 17 matchup. Let's spin the wheel.
And if everyone's finished, I think Tyler can join back the fold. As long as everyone's finished. We don't want him to come back too soon, but...
Dude, the chat, so you think you can pout? That's great. That's great.
Hey!
No. Good stuff.
It's Trev.
Yeah, man. Broncos, love the Broncos, man. Patriots don't scare me that much. I think that game could easily turn into a shootout in Week 17. Bills, Broncos, another one that's going to have a high total on the week. And yeah, man, I just target everyone on the Broncos. I think Waddle, if we get ceiling Waddle, which we haven't had ceiling Waddle in a couple years because he can barely finish out a whole game without going into the blue tent. But if we get ceiling Waddle, he's going to smash that price. I think Sutton's a great pick too, where he goes. Like, he has a crazy touchdown upside. The running back situation is a little murky, but if you hit it right, then you're going to smash it. So yeah, I think Broncos are a target.
No, I think that's I like that, because I've heard kind of a lot of people already talking bad about this matchup, but it's two young quarterbacks. There could be a lot of fun skill position players on that. Let's check in over here with one PPR Tyler, see how he's doing.
How you doing, man?
I mean, I'll take the full screen if I got it. First off, Rick, fuck you, buddy. You're getting absolutely smoked tomorrow on Best Ball Jeopardy. I just want to say that real quick. If I lose by anything less than $5,000, it'll be a disappointment in my mind. So get ready, buddy.
Let's go.
I'm not emo cowboy.
Smack talk, Best Ball Jeopardy style. Looking forward to that matchup. Okay, Detroit is the next team. Let's power through the rest of the teams we got here. We're making good progress.
Me.
It's Goofy again. Goofy got the magnet.
I'm going to get a beer.
Freaking sharing all his magic herbs and spices tonight, huh, chicken?
The Detroit Lions, you have no choice but to, if you're in that 2 spot or that 1 spot, especially that 2 spot, you have no choice but to grab Jahmyr Gibbs. That's a smash. I don't think anybody could disagree with that. Seeing Detroit and Chicago Week 17, that could possibly be a divisional shootout. You got the best offensive coordinator, or best, I should say, the best play caller in the NFL with Ben Johnson. Then you got Detroit and Minnesota week 15, KOC, which is also one of the best play callers in the NFL. Yeah, I'm not fading anybody on Detroit. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm not taking too much of Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm usually grabbing a running back right there, but I'm taking Jameson Williams, easy to stack with Jared Goff. Sam Laporta, pretty easy to stack with Jared Goff too. Yeah, I'll target Detroit.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Chicago side of it. I think that fills in the Detroit piece nicely. I think everyone's excited about those two teams in the matchup. I don't really know anyone fading like Detroit or Chicago outright. That'd be insane. Spin the wheel again, and then we're kicking off the Green Bay matchup against Houston. We haven't really talked about this one yet, so I'm excited to see what y'all think. Toss it over to Michael.
Yeah, the question I've been asking myself, like, about Green Bay, is it possible that Jaden Reed runs more than 60% of routes this season? Like, is it even possible? I mean, I don't know about you guys. I think Matthew Golden is fucking terrible. I thought he was terrible as a prospect. He was terrible as a rookie. I know that the plan is that he's going to roll out with Christian Watson in two wide receiver sets early on. But how long can you justifiably do that, even though he was a first-round pick? I mean, I don't think that this guy is a rotational receiver at the NFL level. I think that's his absolute ceiling. So can they get Jaden Reed onto the field? That's the biggest question I've been asking myself. I want to invest in this offense. Jordan Love continues to be underrated in my book. Obviously love LaFleur. So I'm going to be picking up pieces, but I do think that Jaden Reed can be one of those kind of skeleton key players there in the middle rounds, just depending on just whether or not we get it right in terms of how he's incorporated into this offense and whether it changes from what we've seen over the last few years. So I will definitely be taking my stabs. Obviously, you can tell I'm fading Golden, but this is an offense that I'll be buying for sure.
Do we think Josh Jacobs is still good at football?
I've never thought Josh Jacobs was good at football.
Ooh.
That's fair.
Okay.
It's interesting that they get Miami in week 15 and then Houston week 17. So there's like, you could smash a smash spot early in the playoffs, but then you never know against that Houston defense. That could be a massacre and really tough for any offense. But I think the Packers potentially have the coaching, the quarterback, and the offensive line to put up a fight. I wouldn't count them out, but it seems like a tough spot.
You can't shy away just because of one matchup. It's brutal, but you can't shy away.
How many fades we got so far, Candy Man?
Only a few. We've got a fade on the Cardinals. We've got a fade on the Panthers, and we have a fade on the Cowboys. Otherwise, we're pretty much targeting a lot of these teams, but I think we made a lot of good points. This is the flip side of this coin. Let's go ahead and spin and then do the Houston matchup, which I think their playoff matchups look really tough. I mean, it's Jacksonville, it's the Eagles, and then they get that Green Bay. We'll throw it over to Blizzy.
No, I think you laid it out perfectly. I think I don't know, man. The last time we saw CJ Stroud, this guy was just cherry turnover, apple turnovers for everybody. I mean, it was crazy up there in New England, and I didn't even think New England had that good of a defense. I certainly am concerned about CJ Stroud in these playoff matchups that you mentioned at Philadelphia, at Green Bay. I mean, Philly's defense is no joke. They just keep reloading. Their front four is disgusting with Carter and Davis. I don't know that I'm going to be targeting these guys. I mean, I think I lean toward CJ Stroud having a bounce back year overall. I just don't think he can be as bad as he was down the stretch last year. I think he's not as good as he was his rookie year when he lit the world on fire. I don't think he's as bad as he was down the stretch last year, but I certainly don't want any part of this offense in the playoff weeks in terms of going to Philly and going to Green Bay. They're going to be those, especially the other thing you have to consider is, we talk about, do offenses push the other offense? Well, I don't think you're going to be able to score on Houston's defense. And I've already explained why I don't trust Houston's offense. So I think it puts them in a precarious situation either way. Houston's defense is so good that they're never going to give up 28 or 31 points where the offense really has to go crazy. They kind of always just hang around. We can punt the ball. We're kind of still in the mix going into the fourth quarter. Will Anderson's going to get a strip sack for us and keep us in it. I just don't think that their defense or their offense is a recipe for fantasy success down the stretch.
Have we done
Yeah.
a wellness check on Tank Dell? Has anyone got eyes on him, like boots on the ground?
Can't say that I have. I haven't seen
Me
him
neither.
around. But that is something I don't know. I've kind of just moved on to the next chapter, I think, with that wide receiver group. But I was at that original training camp in person when Tank Dell was a rookie, and he was turning heads, and it was really impressive. And he was putting in the work after those practices too, working with defensive backs and doing drills and talking about footwork. So like, man, it was tough to see him go down with that injury. He's a guy I'm pulling for, but I've kind of, for fantasy, I've kind of turned the chapter. I don't know if any of you guys are drafting Tank Dell this year.
No.
Can we get a quick pulse check from everybody on David Montgomery if you guys are in or out on him at like pick 50 overall?
If you need the running back, I think it's fine. I mean, if you're starting off 3 running backs for the first like 6 rounds, like a lot of people are, then probably not. But if you're doing like 0 RB builds, I think you could do a lot worse.
I think he's with the appropriate team because we talk about how good their defense is. He's going to be in so many game scripts where they can just continue to give him the ball. So I kind of like him there.
I want to toss it over to Brian. Do you have any thoughts on the Montgomery setup in Houston?
Really, it starts with that damn line. It's so bad. Like I know they brought in Braden Smith from Indianapolis to lock up that right tackle. They drafted a couple interior linemen, but damn, it's been bad for the last. When did they draft Deshaun Watson? Yeah, it's in and out. It's been horrible. You know, you'll love Woody Marks for what he can do as far as the third down back, the PPR ability, but I just don't want to rely on Montgomery where he has to. Like, if he could be my RB3, absolutely. But if I'm building like that, I don't know how much I love my wide receiver room. So it's a lot of the other pieces I think that I like over. I'd rather take Tootin that goes right in that same spot, you know, if I'm aiming for running back. There's a handful of the wide receivers I kind of like taking my shot on. So David Montgomery, my co-host on my podcast, he has been hitting it hard. So he's bringing me closer to the middle a little bit, but I'm still not there yet. I just haven't been convinced.
Gotcha. What about you, PPR?
Don't do that.
What's your thoughts on Montgomery as well, like in that landing spot and where he's going in drafts right now?
I just don't think he's very good. I would disagree with Brian, though. I actually do like the line. Kalen Rutledge from Georgia Tech is awesome. That's who they got, right? It was the Georgia Tech guard. He's awesome. He's an awesome run blocker. Braden Smith, too. And then they obviously, Irsay from last year's draft, I think he's going to take a step. So actually, the line last year was awful. I think they made every move they made was to try and upgrade that O-line. So I do like the line a little bit, which makes me draft him sometimes. I don't think he's very good, though. Like, he feels like on the downslope of his career. Now, we could just see like a Nick Chubb thing from him, in my opinion. Maybe not as bad, but like that type. It just feels like such a bad process talent pick. Like you're chasing the situation, which is nice, but like the talent, I'm a big bet on talent guy, and I'm not. If I'm going by that logic, I'm not betting on David Montgomery.
I want to see if I can show y'all something real quick, and let me know if this. Let's see if it'll get to work.
Are you doing the? Yeah.
Does this change anyone's mind about David Montgomery now?
No.
You got me now.
Knowing that he's got
The Sony Michel athleticism is doing a lot of carrying here, man.
Is that the strength of current Ezekiel Elliott or past Ezekiel Elliott?
I think it's current.
Okay, then yeah, I don't know.
Is it strength or the length of Ezekiel Elliott?
Is it length?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's length.
Knowing that it's the feet of Saquon Barkley on here, and all of the other names in context, does this give you a little bit of fear about Saquon Barkley, that he's like the only surviving still active player on this like list of running back comps?
This tells me more about whoever put this together than it does David Montgomery. Like this is frightening.
Did he make this about himself? This could have been one of those things. I legitimately don't know.
This was live on a broadcast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did they in the broadcast like interviews? Did they were like, hey, like, make your perfect RB or something? I don't know, or like model your game after. That's what I feel like it might be. I don't know.
This was 5 or 6 years ago when he was dominating at Iowa State. That's what it is, and he was damn good.
I'd truck his ass.
5'10", 220.
That's what kind of that's what I want. I'm like 215 now. Cardio.
Good, man.
Is that the pro day measurables, or is that the combine measurables?
For what for the 5'10"?
I'm just asking.
5'10's combine, 220. It depends what if it's the weekend or not.
Roger that. Let's get back to these matchups. Indianapolis Colts. We did talk about them with Cleveland. So for the teams, I think for the teams we've touched on kind of on the opposite side, we'll try to speed through a little bit quicker and make our way through these.
Oh my god.
Nah, come on, man. Hey, don't be ridiculous, bro. Come on. Wait, Tyler, you thought that was going to be you, man?
No, I didn't.
Wait, I got the Colts. Yeah, man, I do like the Colts. What we've seen when Daniel Jones is under center is just like the best team in NFL history, apparently. So until I'm proven wrong otherwise, like they're probably just going to be fine with him under center. I do think the Browns have a sick defense. So Week 17 against Cleveland is kind of worrisome, but not enough for me to fade them. I'm a big Josh Downs guy. So Josh Downs, JT, and then Tyler Warren. Yeah, I pretty much just love everyone on the Colts.
Yeah, I don't think the Colts are too expensive. I'm going to have to reevaluate a little bit with the Cleveland matchup Week 17. I don't want to put too much stock in one game. Getting to play Tennessee and the Bengals the 2 weeks before is pretty nice. And I think, like you said, the Colts, they're not really that expensive. They're all pretty nice, cheap pieces.
Well, hey, before we jump to the next one, I hate to bail, but I got a 3:30 wake-up call, so I got to hop off. Fellas, This was great. Candyman, appreciate you inviting us over here. This has been a good time. Guys, we got a lot of fun coming up. I can't wait for all the coming challenges, pending I'm still here. But yeah, can't wait. This has been awesome.
Brian, before you go, promote the show. Promote what you got going on, brother.
Yeah, so you think you can tout? That's where you're going to find all of us.
Your show.
Well, yeah, we're going to start. You're going to start with the headliner, But yeah, it's Too Much Fantasy Football. It's Too Much _ Brian. If you're looking for me, all my stuff's running through there. My show's Too Much Fantasy Football. We got the YouTube, the podcast, and if you're looking for something else, you need a little break from football. I got movies too. Too Much Movie Night. We do drafts, we do reviews, all sorts of fun stuff over there.
Nice.
Hell yeah! Thanks for joining, brother, and we'll catch you next time. We'll see you real soon.
Absolutely. See you guys soon. Later.
So are we donating that slice on the wheel to PPR?
Let's take a little vote. Does he deserve it, or are we going to keep him over there in the chair?
Has PPR had a take yet?
Thank God that fucker's gone.
You guys have so much empathy for PPR. I haven't had a take either, and my name's also on here. But
you're talking for every goddamn pick, brother. It's your show.
Well, maybe you host a show with everyone.
I try hosting a show. It doesn't go very well.
No, actually, I thought your show with SYTYCT this week. I think you're breaking new barriers down.
There's conflicting reviews on that show. That guy's way smarter than I am.
Well, you kind of walked right into that one, but you said it, not me. All right, Jacksonville matchup. Let's see who we get on this one.
I think this one's me.
They're playing Washington, so we haven't touched on this one yet.
Never mind.
Pretty close.
Michael, let's go.
We almost got you there, Tyler. Almost got you there. Perhaps this is like the slappiest just take ever, but I'm just gonna pack my bags full of Lawrence alongside Tootin, Thomas, and Hunter. I really don't care. I respect what Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington have done in their careers and did down the stretch last season, but I'm shooting for the stars. I'm not looking for doubles. I am going to go for the home run, and that's who I will be building my teams, my Jag stacks through is that quartet. And I've always been a believer in Liam Cohen, so I'm going to keep going back to the well this year with those guys.
Yeah, I like it. That's going to be a fun offense, right? I mean,
Has to be.
The Tootin is polarizing, but everyone can.
Who cares about Chris Rodriguez? Who cares?
I think he'll be a little more annoying than we like. I think he's going to be out there a little more.
Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're actually playing the Chargers in Week 17, so this is another matchup people are talking about being kind of one of the more appealing. If I'm not mistaken, isn't it Sunday Night Football?
Yes.
Oh,
No,
Ooh, ooh.
that's me. Yeah, fuck you, Goopy. Look out of here. All right. Chiefs.
you guys want to move on to the next one?
They Chiefs actually have one of the. I feel like they have one of the better playoff schedules. I mean, New England, their defense is good. It's not great. San Francisco, they'll be better this year than they were last year. And Chargers, like they're all kind of just fine. That's in a dome. It's in Los Angeles, so that's obviously great for Week 17. I really like the Charger KC game. There's a lot of games where we were talking about this earlier, but there's a ton of games where it was like there's a cold weather team and then there's like a dome or a warm weather team. And it feels like 80% of the games are in the environment that we want, and this is definitely one of them. So I feel like they always play really good against the Chiefs too. I feel like Travis Kelce, he's gonna be doing this is his last year. He's gonna be, stat chasing, career chasing, whatever he's got to do, especially if they're not in the playoff picture, which who knows. But I would say I want to say a fade, but like I do like the Chiefs offense. If their O-line can hold up this year, obviously if Mahomes is more like himself, I actually like KC this year.
Do we think that Mahomes' mobility is just gonna like come crashing down because he was running around a lot, and then obviously he got hurt. So
I never draft Mahomes for his mobility. It's a nice little feature, and honestly, like when you would always draft Mahomes like more than a couple of years ago, it was always like the playoff thing with him. He would run in the playoffs more than he would in the regular season. I think we see closer to, maybe like his rookie year or those first couple of years in the league where he was really just a pocket passer. He can score out of the pocket a little bit, but he wasn't looking to run all the time. I think he ran last year because he had to. His O-line sucked, and they just had no one. Like Worthy sucks. He's not good at football. Rice was dealing with his stuff obviously too. So I'm really in on Mahomes if this offense if the O-line can hold up. I think they have the weapons to get it done. Obviously Walker's, I think it's going to take a ton of pressure off of him. So I'm in on KC. I was looking to fade. I would have faded a lot of the ones we didn't, but this one's definitely a target for me.
And the next matchup, it's the flip side of the coin. So let's spin here and see who can give us a target or a fade case against the Chargers. It's Brian. Brian's gone, so
I'll take it.
Let's throw it over to PPR. Let's let him kind of finish.
Are you serious? You want me to do it?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Wow, God, they got one of the. I think they have like the best AFC.
Yes.
3-team stretch. I mean, they get San Fran. That's that one's at.
They're all in a dome.
They're all in a dome. Yeah, they're all in. That's what it was. Yeah. So home against San Fran, are they home against all of those?
They're home
away
against San Fran,
Miami. That's a little bit gray there.
At Vegas,
Okay.
And then home.
Okay.
To
Got it. Yeah, no, that's unbelievable then. I mean, the Miami game, Week 16 is going to feed families. San Francisco is good enough. Like their defense probably be a little bit better than it was last year, but San Francisco can push them. KC can push them. I'm sorry, I totally forget who was talking about. I think it was Blizzy who was talking about those offenses. You need to have another partner to get those high totals, and I think all those teams can push them, and none of them have like elite defenses, especially with Robert Saleh gone in San Fran. I love it. So I'm in on the Chargers too. That's just one of the better games though. So it's a target for both.
It's a fun game stack, right?
Yeah.
that Mike McDaniel revenge game is going to hit like crack. It's going to be so gross. The Dolphins are just going to get shit pumped at home.
Yeah, most likely, right? The Rams, we haven't touched on them yet. They're going up against Tampa Bay in Week 17. They have Seattle in 16, Dallas in 15. Let's see who we can get here from the wheel. Looks like we got Blizzy on the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in. Obviously, you know, you can be scared if you want to play scared against the Week 16 game in Seattle. But I mean, they played them twice last year, and they put up a number of points both times in the regular season game. And then, like I think Tyler was saying, even some of these outdoor teams where you would normally be scared. I mean, yeah, that Week 17 game is not at home, but it's in Tampa. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like some lightning, maybe a little bit of light rain, but overall, it's a warm environment. I feel really good about the Rams in all three of their matchups. I don't see any reason why you would fade any of them. I guess the one guy that I've been cautious on so far has been Kyron, just because I was not liking the way that they were going the series by series rotation with Corum. The back half of last year, it was like by the book. It's like if this was your drive, the next one's Corum's, then it's yours. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Goofy, I would like your take. I know you're talking about kind of hammering these running backs early. Are you concerned about Kyron's snap share going down a lot last year?
I just believe Sean McVay was trying to take a little bit of the load off of Kyron. Blake Corum came in there and did what he was supposed to do. He played well, but I don't think they took away time from him just because of performance or production. They paid him. He plays good football. It's going to be Blake Corum is going to get more than he got or just as much as he got last year. But I'm still taking Kyron Williams, especially if he's my RB3. If I go running back, and then Kyron's there for me in the third round, I have no problem clicking Kyron because I don't think it's a performance thing. I think it was more of a longevity thing for Kyron Williams, and Blake Corum's a good player. So, if you're a good player, you get on the football field. That's how it works.
That makes sense. Jim, I want to toss one your way on this playoff implications for the Rams. There's so many, expensive fantasy pieces on the Rams. Do you have any kind of first takes with their Dallas, Seattle, Tampa Bay playoff schedule?
Yeah, I mean, the Seattle one is obviously concerning. Tampa Bay run defense should be pretty good. I share Blizzy's concerns with Kyron. Goofy made a compelling argument, but I just, at the price that he's at, and especially with taking more round 1 and round 2 running backs this year, by round 3, I'm pretty desperate for some wide receiver fun in my life. So I've been fading Kyron. And then I don't know about the rest of the room, but I'm a little worried about Devontae Adams' touchdown regression.
Sure.
I've been 25% exposed to Adams for like 4 years now, and I've completely jumped off the bandwagon and can't bring myself to click him this year. I mean, it was awesome last year, but there were way too many 1-yard touchdowns. The hamstring injury started flaring up. They were considering trading him. They also were looking at AJ Brown at one point. I think McVay's a little concerned. So I'm getting off of that bandwagon. I'll have some shares, but I'm
with Jim there. As far as Devontae Adams goes, if he has another season like he did last year, that's like hitting blackjack at the table twice in a row, man. And I don't like those odds at all.
Let me jump in here. I'm just pulling this up really quickly.
Sure.
Because I definitely share you guys' concerns, but let me give you another flip side regression for Devontae, because it was making me absolutely vomit last year when he was on my redraft team. All right, so listen to this. So Puka last year had the ball thrown to him 166 times, and the pass was completed 129 times. It was like outrageous. He caught like 80% of his targets. Devontae was targeted 114 times, only caught 60 of them. Matthew Stafford was just, I was watching these games. It was just driving me absolutely bananas. Matthew Stafford is splitting fucking triple teams on passes to Puka, putting it right in the window. And Devontae Adams is like shaking people at the line, getting wide open separation. He's just fucking airmailing shit out of bounds. I don't know that you can have Puka again be at an 80% catch rate and then Devontae down at 52.6%. That seems ridiculous.
Yeah,
Puka's just
we've
so
heard a lot
good,
about
man.
it. There's some compelling pieces. Who is that? You, Trev? You're saying something?
I was just glazing Puka. No more notes.
So yeah, I'm with you guys that the touchdowns are coming down. But come on, Stafford, you got to get some more accuracy on the passes to Devontae. That's way too wide of a gulf to be completing like 27% more passes to Puka than to Devontae. Just a positive regression note.
I would like to know the depth of target for those two, because I'm pretty sure Puka Nacua is getting easier targets as well. So, Devontae Adams' targets are more mid to deep range than Puka's getting his shallow crosses and his flat routes and his screens and things like that. Devontae's not getting any screens. So,
yeah, let me see. Yeah, Puka's was at 9.4 ADOT, and then Devontae's at
It's got to be like 14, 15, right?
If you take away his goal line stuff.
Devontae's at fucking, where is Devontae? He's at almost 13. So okay, it's 9 versus 13.
So completely different targets that Puka's getting than Devontae. So you got to expect that when you're throwing the ball further downfield, the completion rate is going to be lower. So
no, absolutely. I'm doing a little like just narrative based on watching too.
Yeah.
There were some times where Devontae was just shaking dudes and he was open, and and he was just getting airmailed. So, but no, you're definitely right. They're scheming up shit for Puka, and they're getting the ball in his hands on screens and quick little pop passes. So yeah, that definitely plays into it.
Great debate, guys. Let's move forward to Las Vegas. We talked about them in the context of the Arizona Cardinals. When I think of the Raiders, though, there's a lot of optimism, and obviously there's two really expensive pieces.
Real quick, hey, I gotta
Ballsy.
run too. I gotta teach some kids how to fucking hang clean tomorrow morning. So I gotta get out of here. Oh, we're doing this.
What's up?
Hey, I don't want to promote my show. I don't want to do any of that. I want to promote FanSpeak's 24-hour live stream tomorrow. They're absolutely killing it over there. So I'm going to be on there doing where did he go to college against Steve? That should be a good match. I think it's probably a pick'em. So I'm probably still going to smoke his ass. And then I'm playing Rick in Best Ball Jeopardy. If you ever see me play Best Ball Jeopardy, I'm the villain of that show. I will continue to do that. Rick is on my show. He knows who his daddy is, and I'm going to absolutely pummel him tomorrow on Best Ball Jeopardy. So make sure you tune in for that. That's appointment viewing. Yes, Rick, make sure you I will tell you, give me your number. I'll text you good night. See you guys later.
All right, peace, PPR. Yeah, I'm gonna throw, let me bring y'all back. Lost for a sec there. Boom. I'm gonna throw the link into the YouTube chat now that I got it here. The FanSpeak Network's doing a 24-hour live stream to celebrate their 1,000 subs tomorrow. As PPR was saying, great people, great network. Make sure you're subscribed over there. I'm actually going live with them tomorrow night at midnight Eastern time. Meg and I are going to draft some of the PGA best ball for the PGA Championship late at night. We're going to be doing the weekend, the Saturday, Sunday slates for the PGA best ball. So that'll be fun. Come check that out too. Stick around. It's a 24-hour live stream. And I think we're actually also going to draft potentially a Best Ball Mania tomorrow night, late. So looking forward to that. Great people at FanSpeak. If you haven't checked them out or their Best Ball content as well on their Substack, it's good stuff. I highly recommend. I lost track of. We got Michael here. So Michael, you've had some time to think about your Raiders take. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I hit the other side of this one. I'll throw this to Jim. He hasn't been up in a minute.
All right, Jim.
I mean, it's wheels up with the exception of Denver, which is maybe problematic. The Tennessee and Arizona matchups are smashes. I've been suckered into drafting Genty. I think he showed sparks last year in a pretty awful situation. Kubiak's a great OC. Massive, should be a good upgrade at quarterback. Whether it's Kirk, I think it'll be Mendoza by the end of the road. Number 1 overall pick. Got to bet on it, and then it's just full wheels up for Bowers. There's no other target competition in that offense. It should be very consolidated. We just saw JSN absolutely smash. I'm all in on Bowers at the end of the second. I'm in on Genty at the 1-2 turn. I'm convincing myself to take Trey Tucker. I think Mendoza's really cheap, so he's a fun third QB. So wheels up, let's go.
Love it. Miami and Buffalo. We touched on this because of the Buffalo side. Let's spin the wheel and kind of close out the other side of that matchup and give some light to the Miami situation. This one's going to Brian. We can honestly though, I'll throw this one up. Does anyone want to take Miami?
I'm a Homer fan, so I'll take Miami. They're going to stink. They're going to stink, but Malik Willis has legitimate rushing, Lamar Jackson rushing upside. He's going to run the ball so much, design runs, undesigned runs. It's literally just going to be him and Achane. I think that stack could be a generational wealth opportunity. It's like buying Bitcoin 2 decades ago. I just think between those two, they could have 2,000 scrimmage yards. So I think it's fade everyone else aside from Malik and Achane. And if you wanted to tag on one of the late rookie guys like Bell or Douglas, I think you can, but not necessarily a target.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who is everyone else?
It's Douglas and Bell, and then I think Tutu Atwell is there. We got I don't know, man. It's gonna be rough, but Malik's gonna run so much. I think he can be fine if you run him naked or with Achane.
It'll be interesting. You don't always have to be a good real life football team to put up some fantasy numbers. So maybe Malik can get us there. As an anecdote,
is so bad too. They're gonna be losing. He's gonna be dropping back 45 times a game.
He could be. I saw because I was pulling in Mike Clay's rankings. He has them ranked as the worst offense and the worst defense in the entire league.
Something's got to give, right?
I guess so. I mean, it can't be all true, right? It would be pretty wild if he nailed it on the head, but it's tough. Like, yeah. And I think people are starting to come around to it a little bit. And I've heard a lot of people talk about fading Achane as like a first round pick, and he's starting to fall more in the second round. So we'll see how that goes. Minnesota up next. We haven't touched on them. They're going to get up against the Jets. Kind of an interesting spot. Let's see what we can get on the wheel.
Just what the show needs, man. More Trev.
Back up.
So I like the Vikings. I don't know, man. I'm not really sold on Kyler. He's so fast, but doesn't run enough he doesn't run as much as he should, I think. Justin Jefferson absolutely just burned me last year, so I'm still a little salty on that. I think Aaron Jones might be washed. I trust the coaching, though, so it's probably I don't know. Actually, I completely just lied. I'm tossing this over to someone else to fade or target because I'm so torn on this. Like, I like the receivers. The running backs are okay, and I love the coaching. So I could really see it go either way.
I'll take Minnesota and Detroit, KOC divisional matchup. And I'll take Minnesota against the New York Jets for one reason. Aaron Glenn, he is a guy who loves to run cover 0, cover 1. He wants to run man-to-man and stop the run. I wouldn't want to cover Justin Jefferson man-to-man. Maybe they make adjustments, but if he sticks to what he usually does, then Justin Jefferson can have a field day against the New York Jets. There's nobody out there at either corner spots that can cover him. So I will take Aaron Glenn's philosophy of 1 and 2 being cover 0, cover 1, man-to-man coverage. If he sticks with that philosophy and gives Justin Jefferson the opportunities on the outside, mano-a-mano, he wins those every single time. So if we're talking about week 15, 16, 17 matchups, well, you can't get any better week 15, 16, 17 matchups than that. Detroit, Washington, and New York.
Goofy, is that an exception for you then for the Jefferson late first? I know you said you like all the running backs.
And then I'm just talking week 15, week 16, week 17 playing the game now. I'm not taking Justin Jefferson like that. I'm taking Ashton Genty. I'm taking Cook. I'm taking Christian McCaffrey on a fall. I'm not going to sit here and act like I got 8%. I don't have 8% share of any first round wide receivers. So
that's scary. That's scary.
It is scary, but it's scary, but then it's safe at the same time.
I like it. That's the Goofy way. I've got an idea. Instead of spinning the wheel, since now we've got our group here, we've got some names that have dropped out. We're gonna go down the line. So this next one up is going over to Blizzy, and then we'll work our way down as we wrap up these last couple teams.
Man, New England is so interesting to me. I know that so many people out there are saying schedule emergence last year and that they're due for regression. I think the truth is somewhere in between. I think they did run hot last year. They had a lot of good matchups. But looking specifically at this, maybe week 16, at New York is a good spot, but I certainly don't think that they're going into KC and going crazy on that defense. I certainly don't think that in a super cold game in New England against the Denver Broncos in week 17 that they're going to go crazy. So playoff week specific for me, it's probably leaning fade. I don't love those matchups, and those receivers don't scare me. Even if AJ Brown comes over, it is what it is. You're running out, Romeo Doubs, Mac Hollins, Demario Douglas, Kyle Williams, and AJ Brown. I think they're due for a little bit of regression, but this is not a playoff schedule that I will be aggressively targeting.
Yeah, this is a tough schedule. I think there's always the Super Bowl hangover fears, and they're kind of expensive. I think these defensive matchups are going to maybe settle those prices down just a bit on some of those Patriots skill position players, and even Drake May to an extent. Next up, we got the New Orleans Saints. Let's throw it over to Trev.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show. I just love the Saints offense at price. Their defense is going to be so bad. Like, they're going to have to throw a lot. We love Olave. We love Tyson. I think Shuck is capable enough to get the ball to those guys. So, I am going to be targeting them. This playoff schedule is just so nice too, man. Like the Cardinals, the Falcons to round it out. I think it's a target.
Nice. Jim, we're going to power through these last teams. How you feeling about the Giants and their playoff matchups?
Playoff matchups seem fine. I mean, Cleveland is rough. The other two could easily be high scoring. Detroit and as we mentioned before, Detroit and Dallas can both push them. I'm a little terrified of the offensive coaching in New York. Not a really inspiring group between Nagy and Greg Roman. But with that in mind, I think Cam Scatabo, assuming his leg works, is going to get peppered with targets and with carries. And so I'm not afraid of injuries. I've been buying pretty aggressively, and we'll see how that goes for me.
Interesting. Yeah. Sounds like the injury news is all we've heard about the Giants this week. I was watching Steph. She was doing an FFPC stream earlier tonight, and I was tuning in, and she was kind of speaking to the Neighbors news. And one thing that they were saying was this: we found this out literally yesterday. It's been one day since we found out about the Malik Neighbors' second surgery. It feels like a lifetime in the fantasy space because we're all like hyper focused on the news cycle, but this is some kind of breaking news. I'm curious to see how the market, how the ADPs react to this Malik Neighbors news and how far he can really fall. Anyone else have any ideas about like where they perceive Malik Neighbors settling maybe a month from now?
I would love if he went to round 4, man. I would scoop that up all day.
I was going to say 4th round.
That feels right.
If he goes to the 4th round, then I'll get my first share of him.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't have any shares.
I saw that one coming, Goofy. I knew where you stood on that one.
Yeah, I have no Malik Neighbors.
Michael, tossing it to you for the New York Jets.
Terrifying offense. I don't think there's really a way to get around it. Much like the Cardinals, we could be seeing Klubnik down the stretch. Maybe Geno has some gas left in the tank, presumably with some better weapons around him, considering Bowers was hurt last year. But it's hard to deny the talent of Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. They are both phenomenal football players. But everything that we saw last year, and given the quarterback situation, I'm going to have a very, very hard time buying any of these players generally. And then you see the playoff schedule. We know what Brian Flores can do, especially if it's Klubnik in there in week 17. Like you could very well envision a 6-9 point outing from the Jets against Brian Flores if there's a rookie QB with limited experience, even if it's Geno Smith, a 6-9, 10 point outing from the Jets when all the chips are on the table if you get there. So I'm not going to have 0% on these guys, but definitely a spot where Geno Smith or whoever can just piss down their leg and just ruin it for everyone.
No, you made a great case for it there. Kind of talking through like what you would like see as the risk going with the Jets. Does that mean you're just kind of, even for guys like Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson at price, you're still going to be fading them because the lack of confidence in the offense to score points?
When it all plays out in August, I will be hovering around 8%. I mean, I don't have the balls to just full fade those guys just because I do think they're immensely talented players, but I'm definitely not going to be overweight, and I'm definitely not going to be thrilled if I pull up my phone and I've got a Jet stack in week 17.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you pull out your phone and you're still playing in week 17, you should just be happy. Yeah.
You just got to get there, right? You got to
get there to that's why I always say week 1 through 14, man, you got to get there.
I'm going to cover the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to be fading the Eagles. I can think of other running backs that go where Saquon goes that I'm going to be more interested in if it's between him and one of these other guys that are going right next to him in drafts. Looking at the schedule, Seattle, Houston, and San Francisco, those are really tough defenses. And I don't know. I feel like the vibes around the Eagles aren't great. Maybe they get better once A.J. Brown leaves. I'll have to think more about it. But kind of my first impression, my quick impression is I'm not super excited about this Eagles offense. Even if we're getting cheap Jalen Hurts, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Saquon. I mean, that's about it.
I'm glad I took
no,
Saquon shares before the schedule release because I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring myself to do it.
What was that, Jim? What shares were you talking about?
Saquon. I'm glad
Yeah.
I was buying before we saw 15 through 17 because I'm concerned now.
Yeah, that don't look good at all, right, Jim? But doggone it, we got to get to week 15. So
I do think Devonta Smith could have a nice year. If we're going to take him, you do want to take him now before that trade's official when AJ Brown's out of there because he's going to climb up a little bit regardless. Although I do think it's baked in already, but that doesn't really matter with the market. I think Devonta Smith could have a solid season, but I agree with everything else y'all are saying.
Yeah.
I'll take the Pittsburgh, man. I still am. It fades a little bit every single day because I was so high on the Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers farewell tour. Nobody knows Mike McCarthy's offense better than Aaron Rodgers. I thought the band was going to get back together. They were going to tour the country and they were going to try to break records together. And then I was taking DK Metcalf with Aaron Rodgers. I thought it was going to be the DK, Aaron Rodgers, and Mike McCarthy farewell tour. I still like where DK Metcalf is going with his ADP. Switch that fade and put it to target because I got to grab my later round wide receivers. So DK Metcalf is a core part of my strategy. He's one of the only guys that's a wide receiver one when I start plucking wide receivers with my strategy in regards to being hyper fragile running back guy. Now, Aaron Rodgers is playing around, we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. But I was 95%. Now I'm 85% sure that he plays for Pittsburgh next year.
Yeah. Well said. There's, it's funny. There's still those teams where we don't know the QB situation for sure. We feel like we know it, but man, it only takes one day of breaking news and it kind of flips everything we know on its head. So we're still holding out for Aaron Rodgers to come back, but just imagine if, and I think he will come back, but imagine if he's not there. It's like a complete reevaluation of that team, right?
Absolutely. And I feel like we got the Aaron Rodgers breaking news and then it wasn't breaking news. So we already saw the excitement. So we'll see if it ever becomes official.
For sure. Blizzy, the Seattle playoff, they got Philly, the Rams, and then Carolina.
This is like a yellow light for me. It's like if you really got to get somewhere and you want to go through the yellow light and hit the gas, you can. But me, I'm probably stopping and just waiting for the next light to come through. I don't love it. I mean, I'm gonna take JSN. I'm gonna just take my medicine and take JSN just so I have some of him. But I mean, they're playing Philly, they're playing the Rams. I mean, those are two ridiculous front fours. Obviously, you get maybe a little reprieve in week 17 with Carolina. I don't know who the hell is going to be getting the majority of the carries down the stretch. Is it going to be Jadarian Price? Is it going to be Emmanuel Wilson? Is it going to be Zach Charbonnet? Is Sam Darnold going to be seeing ghosts when he's seeing those really stout front fours of Philly and the Rams? Yeah, for me, it's just like, I mean, if you want a couple of those guys, you can take them. I'm probably just going to be taking JSN where I have to, and then passing on the rest because the rest just feels like guessing. I mean, low volume, maybe catch a bomb. Rashid Shaheed lost a step or two. Cooper Kupp. Do you believe in Torrey Horton off the shin surgery? Do you like AJ Barner late? Do you believe in a year 2 breakout from Elijah Arroyo? I mean, these guys are fucking question marks to me. So it's like JSN, and I'm just going to hold my breath.
Yeah, I tried to dig in on JSN and get some more clarity there. There's some moving pieces, new coaching and new scheme. I personally I'm tending to go JT and McCaffrey over JSN, but I will take like Jamar Chase and Puka at ADP. But it's tough. I don't want to like fade the Seahawks, but I feel like these matchups are tough and it's one to figure out for sure. But like I like what you said about it. Next up, we got the 49ers Trev,
you can take
wanna...
this one, Candy Man. Dude, I've been yapping so much, man. You got to get some talk on your own show, man.
All right, I'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot on this one. 49ers getting Philly in week 17. I don't love that. KC's defense is pretty tough, and the Chargers defense, not really a pushover. It comes down to, I guess, what we think about, because San Francisco is such a good offense. They can score against anyone. There's a lot of faith that, they're going to be putting up touchdowns. McCaffrey's getting volume. Brock Purdy's pretty reliable for fantasy. I don't know that I can fade them, but I'm a little bit worried about these matchups. The flip side would just be saying, actually, these are all playoff contenders, and maybe these are games that matter. So at least the starters are going to be active, and the teams are going to be trying to score a lot of points when you're going up against the Chargers in LA, the Chiefs in Kansas City, and then you get your home game against Philly. These could be some important games that decide who's either getting a bye in the first round of the playoffs or potentially who's winning their division. So I think there's at least that's going for these matchups. I don't really think these are going to be dud matchups, even if the defenses are tough.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like the Niners this is kind of like their last chance to have a Super Bowl winning season. I think CMC and Kittle are kind of feels like they're on their last legs a little bit. They made a move to get Evans, who is getting older, obviously. So this really feels like their last real shot to be a really good offense. So I'll be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, that's true too. Jim, we got Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so I'll make my part on this quick. That roster is an absolute mess to sort through. The receiver room is congested. The running back room is congested. I'm basically full fading Egbuka and Bucky at price right now, which is it's scary, but it kind of necessary. I've dabbled in some of the other pieces, but these matchups look really good. So I would label them a fade, but New Orleans and Atlanta, both smash matchups. And then the Rams could easily push them. I know they, number one defensive rank from Mike Clay here, but they could easily give up some points in any given week. I would say, just because these matchups look so good, does anybody have a bull case? I'd love to hear one. If any big Egbuka fans or big Bucky fans in the audience want to chime in.
I do think Godwin at wide receiver 40-something, if he's healthy, Baker's healthy, he's going to have value. All he does when he's healthy is produce. So I think that's a lot of value there. We've seen Egbuka have success early on. So I see the path, but I'm not actually targeting him in drafts at all.
I mean, to be honest, man, I'm pretty disappointed in the market for not pushing down Egbuka further after the disaster that was the last half of his season. Fourth round, where I really wish that was a sixth round price tag, and I'd feel a lot more comfortable. It's definitely a scary click. I don't know if anyone saw the comments about him playing F next year and having a more defined role instead of kind of trying to do a little bit of everything. That's encouraging, but still, yeah, a scary click for sure.
Yeah, I'm Tampa Bay. I'm feeling McMillan, and that's about it. I know the reports came out about Ted Hurst. They said that he's going to play at the X. They didn't say he was going to be the premier X starting wide receiver. I think that Ted Hurst has to go into Tampa Bay's training camp, and I do not believe he has what it takes to take Jalen McMillan's job. I like Jalen McMillan at ADP.
Yeah, the only bucks that I've been on has been McMillan and Gainwell. I've been heavily packing my Gainwell bags because in my head it's he's gonna rise on either Bucky shoulder surgery, not being as rosy of an outlook as we saw, or just the fact that people catching on. Rashad White's gone, and that offense has tended to not use Bucky on third downs. And Gainwell's coming off a really good season, so yeah, I agree. I've been just going for Gainwell and McMillan, and I've been fading.
I'll keep. Sorry, Blizzy. And I'll keep going with my running bit. McMillan's better than Emeka Egbuka.
Can't follow that up with any other debate. That settles it right there. Tennessee. Let's throw this one over to Michael. Do you have any strong takes on Tennessee and their matchups?
Yeah, these matchups are so. It's for me, this is a type of offense where I don't really even care about the matchups. I just kind of want to understand. I want to be right on where they'll fall on the range of outcomes to begin with, because I think it's just so incredibly wide. There's a lot of moving pieces with obviously Salah and Dable and Cam Ward, another new offensive scheme. He gets presumably a new wide receiver one. And just kind of generally speaking, not acknowledging the matchups here, I'm going to be pretty out on this offense generally. Tony Pollard goes in a range in a range of the draft where I'm looking for a quarterback for the most part, or one of those interesting wide receivers, Thomas Lemon. And then the receivers, I get the thought with Carnell Tate alongside Cam Ward, just stylistically. I think Carnell Tate's talented. I'm not super interested at cost. Maybe redraft will be different. Dynasty, I completely understand. But this year in best ball, I'm not particularly interested. And then I don't really have to say much about Calvin Ridley. If there is still another Calvin Ridley truther out there, maybe they'll come out of the woodwork. But I am not that guy.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess the only thing I can think of as like a counter for Tennessee is there's some cheap pieces. At the
100%.
same time, like Carnell Tate's pretty expensive. I remember I was earlier this week, I was talking about Carnell Tate, and you look going about half a round later or kind of later in the same round, Marvin Harrison Jr. And if you were to compare like their profiles at Ohio State, no one would put Carnell Tate in the same kind of prospect category as Marvin Harrison Jr. Like it's a completely different universe. I know landing spot now and the quarterback uncertainty with the Cardinals, but like even that alone, just betting on talent, betting on a player, it's like, man, we're really taking rookie Carnell Tate ahead of a third-year potential breakout for Marvin Harrison Jr. To me, it's a little bit of a steep price, but I guess all of the other Titans are relatively cheap at least.
Yeah, I think it just all depends on Cam Ward, man. If he comes out, he takes the next step and he smashes, like he's going to bring some guys with him. And a lot of these guys will be smashes at their ADP. So it just depends on if he's got it or not.
For sure.
I draft way too much Gunnar Helm. So
I don't blame you. It's a fun click. He's a fun
I've got like
click.
30%, like just click away. Like, I don't know. So
I'm going to wrap it up here with the Commanders, and then I'm going to be jumping into a puppy draft and getting one more in before the end of tonight. And if anyone has to jump off the stream, like, feel free. I know on the East Coast we're getting late, but appreciate y'all being here and jumping through the NFL schedule release on the very first day and cutting it up. And everyone in the chat, thanks for being here as well. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Go to the description. You can find everyone's socials linked here and go check out, everything they're about, all their content, needless to say. But the Washington Commanders, they get the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I feel like that could be kind of a fun potential shootout game where we'll see where it gets with the Commanders. I'm a little bit skeptical of them right now, but I think that one could be kind of a fun shootout. And I'm not really afraid of the Atlanta matchup or Minnesota. So it's showing up here is the average defense being kind of the 24th overall defense, a pretty easy matchup, kind of similar to the Saints that we reviewed up there. And they get, they both are facing the Falcons. I feel like this is kind of a target. This might be a reason to go back in on the Washington Commanders. And if their defense is going to be one of the worst defenses, then maybe they put a lot of the responsibility on Jaden Daniels' shoulders. As if he can stay healthy and hold up, he might be getting a lot of opportunities to play from behind in the fourth quarter. So that could be pretty exciting as well.
Much like Jim with Gunnar Helm, I'm going to be taking a lot of Chigo Okonkwo this summer as a late round tight end.
Yeah. He was a big riser too. Obviously changing teams and getting signed, but he has risen up, and I feel like that's a name I haven't clicked in a little while that I need to think more about taking and where he goes.
I love where Jaden Daniels go too, man. I feel like elite quarterbacks kind of pushed down this year. I think it's going to come up a little bit as we get further into the summer. But right now, man, Daniels feels like such a good click, dude.
Easy.
I agree. I'm going to jump off here in a second too, but I just wanted to circle back just because I'm over here thinking like, man, am I crazy for that statement that I don't feel like I have confidence in anybody on Seattle besides JSN, especially like coming down the stretch once Charbonnet is healthy. Can any of you guys like make a case? Are you guys knowing that you're going to be overweight on somebody other than like anybody on Seattle?
No.
I like Shaheed.
No, not overweight. Yeah, I like Shaheed too. I could see that happening.
The range of the draft that he goes in is pretty dry for receivers. I think, and he was murky last year when they made the trade. They never really seemed to find a way to get him involved in the offense authentically. It was either gimmick stuff or, I mean, he had a couple touchdowns off of returns. But if they have a whole offseason to figure out how he can work better with JSN, I think there's spike weeks in there. He's obviously never going to be a steady receiver, but I like him at like 140. I've been clicking.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great call.
I like personally, and I drafted a bunch of them in the pre-NFL draft tournaments. I still like Torrey Horton. I know we didn't see a ton of him, but he was electric on special teams when he was healthy. He was a touchdown magnet, and he goes pretty cheap. He's going even cheaper now. So I think, to me, I still kind of hold out hope for Torrey Horton in like a late dart throw, that he's just an exciting player that at least has a nose for the end zone. So
Checks out.
Blizzy, before you take off, let the people know what you're up to, where they can find you, all that.
Listen, man, I got nothing to promote. I do some golf previews every week on a YouTube channel called Ballin' with Blizzy, but you know, I'm just doing my thing over there. I do some NFL stuff over the summer, but nothing to promote. You guys know where I'm at on X. So listen to me there. Follow along with So You Think You Can Tout, and I'll see y'all boys next time.
Hell yeah. Thanks for being here, brother. And we'll catch you in another one real soon.
Yep. See ya.
Peace. All right. I'm entering a puppy right now. You sickos are still sticking with me, I think. So
I'll do a couple rounds before I go to bed, man.
Hell
Can't
yeah.
say no to a draft.
Yeah, I got a few rounds in me.
Perfect. That's what they always say until they stick around till it's round 18 and you're just making those late clicks. But no, I appreciate y'all for being here and rocking with it late on a Thursday night. I know we all got things tomorrow as well. Boom.
Yeah,
We're waiting on
anyway.
3 more.
You know, I've drafted 150 of them, so I just want to feel something right now. So
Yeah, Jim, I was serious when I told you to go touch grass on Twitter the other day. I mean, that was today. 150 puppies already. I mean, it is about to close, so
it's gonna close. I'm going to Mexico next week. I just fire them off.
okay.
Man.
There you go. See, I didn't know you were going to Mexico. That's nice. That'll be your opportunity to take a little break. But even when I was in Mexico during the NFL draft, I think you can still draft there. I didn't enter any drafts. I can't actually remember if I was making slow picks. I think I wasn't. I think I was like tuned out for. I actually took a little break, but it was funny. I turned on the NFL draft the first night, and it was in Spanish, and I was just sitting there, just like following on Twitter and catching a little bit of it. But yeah, it's good to disconnect for a bit for sure.
I have bad news. I'm pretty sure I saw the other day that they updated it that you can like make picks while you're like out of range from a legal spot. So Jim,
you can
might be
definitely.
able to,
You just sometimes you can't start drafts.
I can't remember what I saw, but there was something the other day on it, and you might be able to fire up some drafts, Jim.
I really hope not, but I don't do slow drafts anyway. I miss picks, and then it's no good.
Yeah, that's the same with here, Jim. Like, I don't know how I miss picks with slow drafts, but I tend to miss tons of picks when it comes to slow drafts. It gives you a warning, 2 hours, but I just don't. I completely ignore the notification.
We're
Credit to the guys who can do 75 at a time. I cannot.
Nah, I can't stand slow drafts. I do them sometimes just to keep a queue, and it's kind of fun, or if it's a time box, but I really don't like slow drafts. We're in the 7 spot. Let's see if we can get a quick consensus here. You know, I'm going to avoid my ranks. I'm going to go back off to ADP. I didn't even realize I actually had ranks in here. I think I only mixed up a few, but how do you guys feel in this spot? It could be either JSN, JT.
It's one of those two for me, and I'm good either way.
Yeah, me too. I second that.
Send him.
Send it for JSN. I think it's fine.
Goofy, how you doing, man? Are you okay? We're taking a wide receiver.
At that point right there, I would have to go wide receiver because Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor went ahead of JSN. Yeah. But how many times is that going to actually happen? So, but I would go JSN there on the fall. I will change strategies there.
I personally have JSN in the same tier as Amon-Ra and CeeDee Lamb and Jefferson. I don't think he should be up with like Chase and Puka. So I do always take McCaffrey and JT ahead of him. It's just kind of funny that it fell this way tonight. But I don't mind getting JSN. I'm not against the player. I'm just trying to think of it like, what I honestly believe or I'm projecting for the next year. And then at the same time, these are all first round picks. I don't want to hard fade them. So I do kind of capitulate to the market a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
he
curious,
just gets so much work. Sorry, guys.
do you guys think that they're gonna try to do the run to set up the pass thing again this year and just like beat the brakes off of it, even though it's like not particularly efficient? I know
Probably.
Kubiak's out of there. I mean, it worked last year, so because the whole thing for me is that kind of just like philosophy and approach, it worked so well for the play action and JSN. His deep target efficiency was just ridiculous last year. And that's the one thing that I get hung up on pretty often is that sustainable? Can he continue to just dominate on play action and downfield? And are they going to kind of pivot away from that kind of just overall approach? So I don't want to get too into the weeds because this guy is just a baller. He's live to win the Triple Crown basically next year if really things break that way. So am I going crazy here? Are you guys kind of thinking about these things?
No, I'm thinking about the same
I can't
thing.
imagine they're going to change anything up after winning a Super Bowl, man. It's going to be the same thing. Whether it works or not is a different story, but it's going to be the same offense.
How are we feeling between Ken Walker and Hampton as a group?
It's Walker.
I'm Ken Walker.
Yeah.
Ken Walker, let's go.
So you think that somebody, whoever the offensive coordinator for Seattle is going to be able to call plays in a similar fashion that Clint Kubiak does? I have a belief that play calling is an art, man. Like either you got it or you don't got it. Like you just can't say, here's Clint Kubiak's playbook, call the plays. It doesn't work like that, I don't believe.
I agree. I think they'll try. I don't know if it'll work, and if it doesn't work, maybe they pivot. It's maybe we're getting too into the weeds, but that's kind of what's been running around my head when I'm thinking about clicking JSN there.
Yeah, I think Goofy's right there. I mean, it was kind of obviously opposite side of the ball, but when the Ravens lost Mike McDonald, a lot of commentary was made about how Zach Orr was a McDonald disciple, like he learned from him and he's going to keep the system the same and it's going to just be carryover from one year to the other. We obviously saw that didn't happen. The Ravens secondary melted, and obviously they had some injuries, Matabike went out, etc. But to what Goofy's saying, like, there are special play callers in this league. We don't know. Maybe the guy who's replacing Kubiak is a very good one. We don't know that yet, but there's certainly more uncertainty than there was before Kubiak's elite, and he's going to carry that to Vegas.
Fair enough.
So we've started off JSN at the 107, Ken Walker at pick 18. Pretty standard stuff. I mean, I'm just keeping tabs on Neighbors. He falls to 26 here. We think he could fall even further. Bowers went before our Ken Walker pick. McBride goes at 24. Jeremiah Love at 23. Josh Allen with that cake Miami week 17 matchup. He's starting to go higher. I've seen in some drafts. He goes 29 here, kind of about where he's been. We're coming back on the clock. We're going to have the choice between a Breece Hall, Devonta Smith, Olave, Kyron. Who we taking here? ETN.
I'm good with anyone but ETN, honestly.
I like Devontae, but it's up to you guys. I know you guys are running back guys here.
I'm for some receivers. This is fun.
We're going Devontae?
Works for me.
That's fun.
I was waiting to see.
Yeah, it's not my draft, but I'm taking Travis Etienne there in the Kellen Moore offense in New Orleans. Yeah. I got my play caller that I trust. We know he's one of the elite play callers in the NFL, and I got his running back. So, that's just we'll see what the running back room looks like to finish this draft. But personally, I would have.
We've got some ground to make up, huh?
It feels like it.
And you only need to start 2 a week, man. We'll be fine.
I need to start. I need to start. That's where you're wrong, Trev. I need to start 3 a week.
Yeah.
But with this team, though, with this team, we're only gonna need 2. We're only gonna need 2.
Okay.
We're gonna start 3.
Speaking of like
Jim, where are you with that, Jim? Who are you looking to put in your flex week in and week out? Are you looking to put a running back there or a wide receiver there if you had your ideal, roster structure?
I do both. I mean, I'm not married to hyper fragile or robust RB builds. I certainly do more of them this year than I ever have before because the prices have increased by so much, and more so than the prices increasing, the late round running backs are just not fun. Like you before you could sell yourself a story about, insert rookie here or this backup that looks like they might be able to emerge. But everybody who has any kind of juice has been pushed up the board. This is going to be a fun one.
We're getting
I want to know who
destroyed at
Goofy
running
wants.
back. I'm almost wish that we would have started with James Cook, just the way this looks. But we're coming back up. T-Mac, we know he plays JSN in week 17. We got Higgins still there, McConkey, Bucky, Travion, Scattaboo. Where are we going?
I'm Ted. I mean, we already
Yes,
started
RB
this party.
boys.
You might as well keep going.
Yeah, I got to lean into it, right?
Yes.
And it's gonna be ugly when
It might look ugly now. It might not look ugly a couple months from now.
We're
Stay
kind
strong,
of
boys.
anchoring to Ken Walker, so there's a big bet there. I do think we've got some studs. We've got the week 17 correlation with T-Mac and JSN. We still got to get there though. And then the Eagles, I know we just covered all this but then so the Eagles, we've got them against San Francisco. We can think about those pieces, and KC against or not KC. KC against the Chargers. So I guess we could have considered Ladd there. I think I do prefer T-Mac though, even over Ladd.
I think it's pretty tight. I'm pretty excited for what Mike McDaniel is going to do for the Chargers. I know there was when they added Njoku, there was some rumblings of oh man, the routes are going to be hard to kind of project and everything. I don't really see that for Ladd. I think he's, even with the down year, he's by far and away the best receiver there. And why are we letting the arrival of David Njoku, who sat in free agency for 2 months, really influence kind of how we're thinking about how this offense is going to look?
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that one. Not only did he sit in free agency, he also got outplayed by Fannin. I mean, obviously Fannin is really good, but it was instant overtaking. So I'm kind of out on Njoku.
We're coming back around to our 5th pick overall, 55. I'm just going to highlight some names by ADP, right? So they're wide receivers again, but honestly, we could pull up a guy like Swift. I think would be a pretty nice pick on this team. Price and Tootin are going to be there, and then Scattaboo and Quinshawn. But I know how Goofy feels. I've been kind of swayed. I think the injured guys are going to fall a little bit.
I think Scattaboo is going to rise. I think that's where that's going to flip the other way. They said he's further along than Neighbors. I think he's going to show up to practice, and people are going to flip the other way.
Scattaboo or Swift?
But you guys get Swift. You want Swift.
Either or for me. I like both guys.
I don't want to give Goofy an aneurysm if I bring us an injured running back to go with our Kenneth Walker hero build.
Playing it safe, we haven't seen Cam Scattaboo do anything yet. Yeah, he's a hell of a running back. But if you're going to take a running back that early, you at least want to know that he's going to touch grass. And I know that we've heard the reports that he's going to be all right. He's going to play week 1. But we had some late Malik Neighbors news come out just yesterday. So I'm not believing anything that's coming out the Giants training facility. I just need to see the Giants social media team post one clip of Cam Scattaboo, and I'm in. Just like Atlanta Falcons gave us that one clip of Michael Penix the other day. Just give me one clip, and I'm with you guys on Cam Scattaboo.
Yeah, I'm a big Scattaboo fan, but I can't argue it. I mean, the injury was so traumatic, and at the same time, though, I mean, and I do have a good amount of Tracy. I wasn't drafting so much Tracy last year. I feel like Tracy feels like an easy click, past pick 120, 130, right?
Did Caleb just go as quarterback 3?
Caleb did go, yeah, pick 61. We're almost back on the clock.
Let's
gotta get your stat.
Tootin. Slam the button.
Easy.
Easy click, right, fellas?
Yeah.
Let's go. He's going to keep falling. This is going to be the most fun thing. Like, I don't want to be in a draft room with anybody who likes him. Like, please give me him at pick 70 for the rest of the summer.
That helps. I think our team's starting to even out a little bit. I think we're doing it right there. The way we've continued to build this out. We've got
any chance we get Hurts on the way back here?
There's a world.
Yeah,
There
world. Is a chance, right? There's a chance we can still get hurt. We have a 3-3 build. JSN, Ken Walker. We got Devonta Smith, Tedroy McMillan, DeAndre Swift, and Bashal Tootin.
How do y'all see Chris Rodriguez fitting into that Jaguars offense? Is he just a guy, a spell guy, or is he going
to be so annoying for Tootin, man? He's going to be getting some carries, unfortunately.
I'm not too worried.
I mean, he's an absolute hammer. He could be considered I could consider him a very good first and second down running back. I see Chris Rodriguez being, like Trev said, a very annoying running back when you're leaning in on Bashal Tootin.
So what I'm trying to comp him to like what we would expect. Do we expect like a Monangai workload where it's 170 rushes, only 18 receptions, only 5 touchdowns, and then we're still drafting DeAndre Swift like highly the next year kind of thing? Because if that's what Chris Rodriguez's ceiling is, I don't think it worries me about Tootin at all. If anything, he's more of a breather back. So I don't know, but some people seem higher on C-Rod. I just think he's not ever going to be a guy you have to win.
I completely agree. I just don't. It's kind of a different take, but I just don't see the point in drafting Chris Rodriguez. It's just unless he magically falls in for 2 or 3 touchdowns in the right week, it's just he's not going to be a difference maker. That is in Tootin's range of outcomes. I agree.
We're on the clock. Sorry to cut you off, Michael. Who we liking, guys? We got 10 seconds. We need a receiver or running back.
I like DK.
I like DK too here.
Yeah.
We're cool with
DK.
DK.
The point about, DK. To the point about Chris Rodriguez, though, it's less about drafting him and more about him eating into some of the
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying go draft Chris Rodriguez. I'm saying, should you feel very good about Bashal Tootin when you have this guy who is a rolling 4 yards per carry, falling forward every single time, absolute hammer, and has all the characteristics of a good first and second down running back in the NFL.
Interesting too is the common thread of Liam Cohen was at Kentucky as a coach with Chris Rodriguez, so they've got some history. So he's got some faith in him. He's played with him. He's been a coach for him before. It's kind of an interesting like thread there. But I just don't. I think there's enough room to go around. I think the Jags can be a good enough team that it's not going to be too detrimental. It's kind of the angle that I'm coming from.
The strange thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say the strange thing about the setup is that Chris Rodriguez appears to be what you would traditionally see as like a red zone back, but they trusted Tootin in that role even with ETN there last year. So it's you don't really know what to make of it, and they obviously love running backs that perform well in terms of rush yards over expectation. And as Candyman just said, there's the college ties. So it's a real question mark, but I hope and think that talent can prevail, and also that Tootin's receiving ability, it's kind of priced in. He's in the range of other running backs who are going to have some carries siphoned off of them. So I'm not worried, but I agree with Trev. He's going to be annoying. It's not going to be a clean break, and there's going to be some touchdowns going the other way.
So here we're at pick 90. I like Harvey and Dowdle. Should we take Mahomes with Ken Walker? Or doesn't make a difference?
I think Mahomes is a great pick here.
I think we should take Mahomes.
Who's the backstack option with them?
Worthy's still there.
It's just
Kelsey still there.
Kelsey.
Jalen Royals.
Oh my God, Jalen Royals.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Honestly,
he terrifies me, man.
Tyreek Hill would be interesting, right?
On August 20th, when Tyreek Hill signs like an $8 million contract with the Chiefs, I'm going to be mortified by all the teams that got him at pick 200.
Exactly, because he's free. So it's like if he is playing with Patrick Mahomes, man, that's just so enticing, regardless of everything else about Tyreek Hill in 2026.
I just don't think he plays.
Yeah,
me either.
It was a bad.
Right.
It was bad.
So bad.
And like, what are you going to get out of a guy whose game is built on speed, quickness, like burning you off the line, who's coming off that sort of injury? I get at the price, but I also don't at the same time.
I'm glad y'all pushed me into Mahomes there because I feel good that we got one QB through our first 8 rounds. It could have been nice to have, Harvey as our RB4. There's a chance we could still get Dowdle at pick 103, a big fall. I'm going to assume Dowdle's not there. What do you guys kind of envision at pick 103 on a team that's a 1-3-4 build where we took 3 receivers early?
I was hoping.
Yeah, let's jump to the queue.
Mm-hmm.
I love Downs.
Dobbins,
Pitts is here.
I'm looking at wide receivers here as well. Quentin Johnson, Josh Downs, with Josh Downs being in the lead for me.
Yeah, I'm a big
Quentin Johnson as a
but Xavier Worthy's there, so I guess you have to stack him, right?
We can stack Worthy. QJ's the bring back for the Mahomes Ken Walker pieces, and there's a chance Worthy comes back around.
If Worthy comes back around, that's ideal.
You want to
we can always go Kelsey if Worthy doesn't come back around. So I think QJ.
Okay.
I know. Is anyone here a big QJ hater?
He's just fine.
Just fine, right?
I was early on because he was just not great his rookie season, but then he balled out last year, so you can't really hate a guy that just scores touchdowns.
And I like the case though. We were talking earlier about Mike McDaniel and how exciting that could be for Lad McConkey. Why can't it be exciting for QJ too? I'm not a QJ bull or anything. I just think in the 9th round, you're not really giving up much to get him unless you don't have a QB already or something. Like it's not a terrible price.
Do you think he's like the kind of archetype of receiver and of the talent level that Mike McDaniel can like scheme his offense around though?
We just haven't seen it from him.
Yeah,
because we haven't seen it from him. But dude, I feel like he's such a shark, dude. Like I think he'll figure it out.
Coming back around, so I'm gonna review the team with y'all just so we remember. We've got Mahomes, Ken Walker, DeAndre Swift, Bashal Tootin, JSN, Devonta Smith, T-Mac, DK, and QJ. We lost Worthy. We could get Kelsey here. Or should we go ahead and pull up Kyler Murray? I want to get y'all's opinion. Also, Shuck would be there.
I'm cool with Murray or Shuck.
Yeah, I would take a quarterback here as well. I mean, I'm not a huge Travis Kelce guy. I understand.
We go Murray?
Murray's fine.
Okay. I guess we didn't have like a way to get back with Shuck very easily given his top pass catchers are gone. So I just kind of figured Murray felt like the better naked QB there.
Yeah, I would agree.
Does anybody feel it was a mistake passing on Kelce, that stack there? I mean, I know Jim was kind of quiet.
No, I don't care. I don't care if we have a Kelsey stack.
We're kind of punting tight end anyways. We could go we could just grab any 3 late or maybe even 4 if we get really comfortable with the rest of our team.
Yeah, I would only ever consider Kelsey with a Mahomes team, but missing on him doesn't feel that bad.
He's going to finish with 6 to 8 touchdowns, and it'll propel him to a handful of usable weeks. And hopefully you're hoping that comes at the right time. That's really kind of all I think you have with Kelsey this year.
He also
we have to hope that it's just not week, the weeks that matter that Kelsey decides to catch a ball, right? Yeah. So we still only have 3 running backs. We're getting to that range where running backs really fall off. And now we have 2 QB, so we feel pretty secure. I like our 5 wide receivers. We don't have a tight end yet, but I feel like this is more of a punt tight end build. I'm going to just look at the running backs. Anyone stand out to y'all that we want to target with this next pick?
Tyrone Tracy.
I like Tracy too. I like Jonathan Brooks. Yeah, any of the top 3 I'm okay with. Obviously, we have some correlation with Kyler and Mason, but Tyrone Tracy probably feels like the best pick here. I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think?
I'm with you on Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, I would lean Tracy. I think it's worth some upside pick for Brooks or Mason, but it's a pretty sketchy running back 4. I think Tracy is a little bit. I don't know. In my mind, I think he's got some juice. So let's go Tracy.
I mean, they're at least going to try to ramp Cam Scatterboo up, aren't they? I mean,
Right.
Are we expecting him to go out there and get 20, 25 touches a game week 1?
No.
No shot.
All right, guys, I got to dip out of here, but thanks for having me. This has been a blast. I'll have to check in later and see how this team turned out.
For sure. And I got you down. You made it to round 11, so you get some skin in the game on this one. Michael, before you run, let me give you some FaceTime, and you can hop off.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from the draft too much, but don't have too much to promote. Check me out on Twitter, Mo_FFB, MOH_FFB, and keep up with So You Think You Can Tout challenge. They did the Calcutta today, and the next video should be out soon. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. And
Of course.
We'll catch you later.
Have a good night, guys.
Right, peace.
Yeah, I'll probably do one pick as well. It's 12:30 where I'm at. I'm about to fall asleep at the draft table right now.
Let's go. We're burning the midnight oil. I'd love to see it.
I'm with you all the way, Candy Man.
Boom.
I mean, somebody's got to make you draft Rashad Bateman around 18, so I got to stick around.
I like
Rashad Bateman.
I said you said that earlier, Goofy, when you were on with Who Hams, and I just people are asking about like, oh, is it Jacoby Lane or is it Elijah Surratt? And it's like it's gonna be Rashad Bateman from the jump.
Bateman. Yeah,
we're taking the Jets wide receiver 3 over him, and it's like Andrews is older. Lamar is going to throw touchdowns. Bateman had a nice year 2 years ago. They have an offense under Declan Doyle that's going to have more timing. Also, I would totally take Jordan Mason if he falls here.
I think
we got a team stack Kyler with Jordan Mason, no doubt, right?
Yeah, why is he falling? What pick are we at? It's like 130.
That was pick 138. We got like 18 spots on him.
Why? Like, I don't understand.
We probably missed some news or something.
No.
Like, yeah, you get shot while we were on the stream. Like, I don't understand why he would fall.
No, I was a pretty big Mason bull last year, and one of the things that I was hyping him up with was that, and now we're looking 2 years back, but in 2024, through the first 8 weeks of the season, the rushing leaders in the NFL, it was Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and Jordan Mason was number 3. Then he slowed down, had the injuries, but then that was in San Francisco. He showed CMC was out, right? He shows up in the Vikings, and I thought it could be a good spot for him to become like a lead back in the NFL. Little did I know that JJ McCarthy was going to ruin fantasy for anyone attached to the Vikings, but I think there's some post-hype sleeper kind of status on Jordan Mason. And Aaron Jones 1 year older, maybe Aaron Jones doesn't get the same amount of carries that he typically would otherwise, right? I don't know.
But the Vikings offense was also a complete mess last year. Like, there's going to be at least baseline competent quarterback play. So I think that we can hang our hat on that and hope it works out. How far do we think Gadsden's going to fall?
I have no clue. This is pick 151. We should take Gadsden for the correlation with Mahomes and Ken Walker, right? He's another Charger. Why not, right?
Love it.
We're going to be taking 3 tight ends anyway.
That was it for me, though. Thanks for having me.
Jim, give us some. Was that Trev? That was Trev, wasn't it?
That was Trev.
Yeah.
Trev, talk to the people before you leave.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Find me Fold My Socks on X. Keep following along to So You Think You Can Tout. Hopefully I make it on to the next round, but if not, it's been a hell of a ride. Peace, boys.
Hey, thanks for joining, man. Glad you could make it. Peace out.
And then so what is the Calcutta? Was that after dark or
it was?
No, it was on
the Swolecast.
Okay, and what was it about?
So they did. They took the 27 touters and they had Pete. No, Pete wasn't bidding. He was the moderator. It was Kitchen and Davis, and then I think 3 or 4 channel members, and they all bid on all of the contestants.
So who's going to win?
There was different categories. You could also
too.
bid for who's going to lose.
Okay.
So do we go Hawkins in here, or do you guys?
Yeah, we probably should take Hawkinson here.
Hawkinson with Kyler is kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
fine.
100%.
And
need a
it
tight
helps
end.
us because we also need tight end.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of the running backs and wide receivers are kind of flat from here on out.
We've also kind of fluked our way into a decent running back room. I mean, getting 18 points of ADP value on Mason kind of helps for your fifth one, but
I mean, we got value on Tootin and then Mason. We took Tracy and Swift essentially at ADP and a little bit of a fall on Ken Walker. So Goofy, I know this isn't a Goofy chicken running back room, but are you feeling a little confident in it now? Or
It actually came out better than I thought it was going to come out.
Somehow we saved it.
Yeah, it's okay. That I'm completely fine with Tyrone Tracy as our RB4. So it's feeling pretty good. I do have some concerns about Bashul Tootin just because I watched Chris Rodriguez and I was very impressed by what I saw. And then after what I saw, I went and compared that with the numbers and they matched. So I do believe that there is going to be a role for him and a consistent role for him in that offense on first and second down. And it's going to make, and I'm not talking about like he's going to be in their first quarter, starting off some series in Jacksonville. So that concerns me when it comes to Bashul Tootin, and especially if he goes out there and gets the hot hand some games and Liam Cohen is hesitant to bring him back out.
Yeah. And you're right. Like it could be the hot hand approach. It's tough. It's tough. When we're drafting many teams like this, we just have to hope this is for this team's sake, it's the scenario where Bashal kind of hits because that would really make this team pop. We're coming back up to our 15th round pick. Is it time to pivot to receiver? I think the quarterbacks have kind of dried up a bit for now. We could hit one up later if we need a third. I don't even know if we need a third. After this pick, I'm going to double check the buys because I forgot about
Minnesota is 6. I was just checking, and Kansas City is 5, so we're all good.
So we scraped by. Do you guys have any favorite picks in this range?
I was going to say Jerry Jeudy. He went, so I'll punt it over there to Jim.
We can take, I don't know, we can take Debo. He probably signed somewhere, right?
Right. I mean, how bad can it get? Debo's still.
I also keep thinking, I know I jokingly said Tyreek Hill, but I think there's another shoe to drop in Kansas City. I mean, unless they're really planning on showing us a whole lot of Tyquan Thornton this year and the other, cast of misfits that they've been throwing at us for a couple of years now. I think they could use one of these veteran receivers that's still out there.
Gotcha. Chargers are 7 and Vikings are 6. So we're good at tight end as well. I was just double checking that real quick, but I assume we're probably going to want to go 3 given the late capital.
Quick, just talking about the targets and phase. Jim, are you taking any Cleveland Browns?
I take Dylan Sampson a fair bit. I mix in Concepcion and Boston. I think they're fine. They first round wide receiver. Boston was projected to be a first round wide receiver. I do take occasionally Judy late. I think it is just because he could easily lead that room in targets if it broke that way. Judkins worries me. I mean, because there's the injury risk, but then 2 is there's the Browns offense isn't functional risk. I do agree with your Monken point, and it just depends on if the quarterback can run the offense that he wants to run. Like we saw him, not even talking about the Ravens with Lamar, but we saw Jameis Winston put up massive fantasy numbers and statistical counting stats with Monken back in the day in Tampa Bay. So if one of those QBs can handle it, then maybe, but go ahead.
And that's kind of my point. If we had any type of confidence in who that quarterback was going to be in Cleveland, then I believe that that's a smash at 17th, 18th round of your best ball draft.
Mm-hmm. What should we do here? I'm kind of stuck.
I think this is just where I click Gunnar Helm, and that's just how it goes.
There you go.
You were talking him up.
He was talking it up. Right. Go ahead.
I have no idea if he's good at this is really bad for my tout cred. I have no idea if he's good at football, but they got rid of Chig. They were comfortable with that process happening. They brought in Bellinger, who's more of a blocker.
Right.
The Titans should be a more functional offense this year. Daboll.
Let me hype up Gunnar Helm for you. So I'm a Texas Longhorn. I'm a big fan. Gunnar Helm, he led the team in receptions. His last year at Texas, he was playing with Golden, and he was playing with who's it? It's getting late, and it's been 2 years, but he led the team, in receptions, and he was kind of it was so he was a rookie last year, so it was all the Texas rookies. It was Matthew Golden.
Yeah, I just meant before that, but I can't. The years are getting crossed for me.
He wasn't a big part of the offense the year before that, and it would have been Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell. But that was the J.T. Sanders year, Jatavian Sanders.
But yeah, he's my most drafted player right now, post draft. So
I mean, I think he's talented. He's a young tight end. He could emerge, but like you said, the opening for his ability with them allowing Okonkwo to move on that should signal some confidence. We have 2 picks left, a 2-5-6-3 build. We could go one more tight end. We could find ourselves done. We could tack on, Tua. I think we could allude to that just being a good value pick. Not that we have it stacked. Zachariah Branch is still there. We could end up doing like kind of take the rookie wide receiver, and then if Tua comes back, great. If we don't stack him with Tua, it's still not a bad pick, is kind of where I'm leaning. Unless there's anyone else here you think we need based on the draft capital we've already invested in, like the Chiefs or the Vikings or the Seahawks, the Eagles, some like the Panthers, some of our top teams. Do we want to team stack them up anymore, or are we feeling good?
I'm gonna be honest, my brain's pretty cooked that Zachariah Branch and Tua looks decent if you could make it happen. What do you think, Jim? I mean, I haven't done it very much.
I think it could be fun.
It seemed like Goofy and Tyler were pretty adamant in Tua holding on to that starting job. So let's bet on that and finish it with Tua if he's there.
Yeah, and if he's not there, we could always throw in that 4th tight end just to give us some more outs. I just don't know if there's going to be any upside to grabbing a running back here. I mean, Tucker and Vidal are okay. We can get Jaden Blue. I'm going to queue him up just in case, because there's some upside that these guys, they're more of like, to me, they're more of the pure handcuff plays.
And I'm looking at the Falcons' schedule. 3 of their first 4 games are on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not great for Tua. I would like to see 3 of Tua's first 4 games in the bins. So that kind of changes things once the schedule drops. Like, it could easily get ugly. First game on the road at Pittsburgh. When you got TJ Watt breathing down your throat. So we'll see. But Kevin Stefanski calls a good offense, and I think he wants to be successful. So he wants Tua to be successful. And I think it all depends on, is Michael Penix. We saw him throwing, but we don't know what Michael Penix's timeline is in regards to being even 80%, 90% ready to play on Sunday.
Yeah, I kind of have some confidence. I like Michael Penix as well, but Tua to me he's kind of a real deal quarterback. Like, he's not a backup in the league. I know he hadn't been playing well. I think he just needs a change of scenery. We've seen quarterbacks have a second win. We've seen Baker bounce back. We've seen Sam Darnold bounce back now. We've seen Daniel Jones bounce back a little in what he's gone through, I guess you could say. So I think I can see the vision for Tua having a bounce back season. Look at the weapons. He's got 2-time NFL Coach of the Year. Like, there are things going in the right direction for Tua's career. He'd be the comeback player. Who knows?
It also gives us a little cover if Mahomes doesn't start week 1. We don't really know if he's going to be ready to go when the season starts. So if that doesn't happen, we're pretty confident Tua is going to have the first crack in Atlanta, and that at least gives us 2 QB scores to work with until Pat's ready.
No doubt. There's the David Montgomery background. I forgot that was still there. Guys, we made it 2 hours deep into the stream. We covered all of the matchups, and we drafted a puppy. Thanks so much for being here. And Goofy, you've been streaming like all day, man, but you're a trooper. You're a machine. I appreciate you. Jim, great to get your insights and finally jump into a stream and get a draft in together. Have a great time in Mexico as well. I'm going to throw it to both of y'all before we sign off and give you some FaceTime. Goofy?
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay.
Sure.
Hey, Candyman, appreciate you hosting this. You know, like I said on your stream before, like we love talking football. We love drafting teams. That's the only way in the world. If we didn't love it, me, you, and Jim, we'd be nice. We'd be having 2 hours of sleep in already if it wasn't for the love of the game. So thanks for having me. You did an excellent job hosting.
Appreciate the kind words, man. And I can't wait to see your new intro with those very interesting imagery that you've cooked up with Whohames. So I'm looking forward to that because I think you're onto something there. I think you need to lean into that.
Nah, I can't.
Jim, man, great to, like I said, great to finally get a drafting with you as well. Been looking forward to it, man. I wanted to give you some FaceTime.
Yeah, man. I don't have any current content that I'm putting out, but I'll be popping on different streams throughout the summer. And then obviously, So You Think You Can Tout, we'll see how long that run goes. Win, lose, or draw. It's been a lot of fun. Pleasure to be included. Shout out to Pete and the team for getting that going for all of us. I'd also, shout out to Goopy Chicken, man. I watched your stream right before we jumped on this. You were on there with Whohames. I'm a fan immediately. So I'll be checking out your stream more. Thanks for, pleasure to draft with you.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, appreciate the kind words, Jim. And we got more to come. It's hot best ball summer. We're just getting started. Many more late nights to go, but I'm going to let y'all get out of here. Make sure you guys check out the FanSpeak Network 24-hour stream tomorrow. I'll be there at midnight. Thanks for clucking with us. Thanks for being here. Peace out, guys.
Bye.